individual spirit up in you. And don't never let nobody taint it. Don't let nobody change it. Not your mom, not your dad. Because what God has for you is going to be for you, bro. You know? So, like, always be respectful. And no matter how smart you get, you can always get smarter. So, and I really want you to know that because you're very intelligent.
Hello, everybody. Today's podcast is just such a blessing. We are so happy to be here with our dear cousin, Hollie. Hollie, I'm not even going to get into a summary of all that she is and all that she does. We're going to go ahead and talk about it a little bit. But, yeah. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We are so happy to have you. And we have so much to talk about. So I wonder, let's just get into it, right? Why not?
Right, exciting. I'm excited.
Yes. I want to start off just by getting the audience a little more familiar with just you and who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, who is Hollie? Who's Hollie Booker?
Well, my name is Hollie. I'm an active servant of the Most High. I try my best every day with my due diligence to do all that He asks me to do when it comes to serving, even if it's a sacrifice. I work at a PRP company. It's a community-based organization where we provide resources for the community, from children to adults. We have people as young as 6 in our organization up to 99. You can go, but I don't know how old the adult is, but the reason for Redesigning Minds is to, help people. The way people look at therapy nowadays is not how it should be looked at, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of us, we all need help. And even if we're not diagnosed, we all have a diagnosis. So with that, I met him doing my nonprofit called Be Rebuilt. I have a nonprofit called Be Rebuilt where I use sports and hobbies to teach kids age-appropriate communication skills, life skills, and the importance of self-trust and self-discipline. I use sports and hobbies because it's easy to get their attention when they're doing something they want to do, what they love to do. And I use it as an incentive. Like, if you guys get this done, we can do whatever y'all want to do at the end. But I try to teach them different things that I know that the school system is not teaching them when it comes to how to deal with life. Mm-hmm. I am a dog mom. I have siblings. I'm the oldest of 8. I have 5 brothers and 3 sisters. Mm-hmm. And right now I'm just pushing through life, trying to find more consistency, more stability. I mean, I always feel like you can always be more stable, you can always be more consistent. I feel like it's never ending. It's a keep going process with that. You can always find ways to get better. That's why I have Be Rebuilt, because all the times I have rebuilt myself, like stripped myself of what I thought I knew, and had to this is what you need to know, this is what you need to apply to your life to become what you're trying to do with your life. My ultimate goal in life is to get land and foster dogs so that they don't have to sit inside the cage and wait until somebody adopt them. And if nobody adopt them, they can come to my family, And that's pretty much, I said the Most High, that's really the only thing that's really important. Mm-hmm. And my nonprofit and the things I love to do to the community and my siblings and my dogs. So yeah, that's literally my life right there.
Wow. I think that deserves a clap. Thank you for coming to our podcast. But no, honestly, I love that. And that's actually just everything that you are, Hollie, is one of the reasons that we thought you'd be such a great person for this show. And then, just to touch on, I guess to start on some of the things you mentioned when you said that therapy isn't, what did you say? Therapy isn't what people think it is these days. Explain that a little bit more.
What I'm learning with working with the community, especially with kids, a lot of kids can't get the proper help they need because once an adult realize that they are the problem, they end up becoming an enabler. They either taking away, whatever you teach a kid, when they walk in, just getting ripped away from them. But they don't understand that. I feel like people are very arrogant when it comes to life. We think that we have so much control when really nothing is in our control. And if you don't have control of your mind, if you don't know how to use your mind, someone is going to use it for you. That's the problem with a lot of kids nowadays. They don't know how to use their mind. I was just talking to my brother about it yesterday. We expose them to so much, and they form judgments on situations, and then they carry it through their whole life about, oh, I'm moving this way because when this happened, this is how this is. But they have false realities. They don't really know how to cope with things. So when it comes to help, people have a hard time accepting help, especially for their children. And then 9 times out of 10, you're gonna need the help too. So like if a family is not getting help together, all the help you're trying to pour into that child is going to be in vain eventually, because 9 times out of 10 they spend majority of their time with their family. So when they go home, if their family tell them this is stupid or this is not what it is or whatever she's saying doesn't matter, 9 times out of 10 that child going to take that as, because another thing I'm learning, like your biggest bullies is the ones you live with. Like they bring out your insecurities, they bring out the things that you know, they belittle you. It's very hard to be all that you can be if it's not being uplifted and someone's not pouring into you. So like a lot of these kids, they don't know how to use their minds, and they get out here in this world, either somebody in school gonna use it for them, or somebody in the corner gonna use it for them, or they just not gonna accept help, and then that turns to ignorance. Because if you don't know and you're not accepting the know of what is now, you're gonna be lost out here. So when I say they don't see therapy as help, they see it as I can't explain it. They see it as
a punishment.
Yeah, or a hindrance.
Like, there's something wrong with me. I have to go talk to this person that I don't even know.
Yes, good job.
Apparently, they know better about my life than I do. Stuff like that.
A lot of times they turn it into their identity. Like, okay, I've been diagnosed with depression, so I'm a depressed person. No, that's not your identity. That's not all who that you are. Just because you go to therapy, that's not all that who you are. You just want to get help with. I'm in therapy right now because I've been traumatized with the situation I just went through, and I'm normally good with coping with things, but I've seen myself like, you know what, I ain't got time for this. I don't want to deal with this, and that's not who I am. So like, I had to get somebody to help me process what I'm thinking, because it's something I've never been through, and I'm not processing it the proper way. I can already tell, because the things I enjoy doing, I don't even want to do it no more. I'm not saying now that's how I feel, but in June, I was feeling that way. So I feel like they don't see it as help. They see it more as a hindrance, or like, you know, a disability. You're not disabled if you get therapy. You're not strung out if you get therapy. Sometimes it's just simply like, listen, there's a lot of things going on in my life. I just need to know how to spread it out and deal with it one by one. What I've learned with myself is I treat everything like a business, even my family. So like, that's something I'm trying to work on now. But therapy will help you identify the things that you need to help within yourself, and then not only identify how to deal with it. A lot of times we just deal with things incorrectly. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
I can definitely relate to what you're saying, because people don't realize society today is just so much different. Like, you know, especially in our community, I feel like we're kind of the main ones that kind of make fun of needing help per se, or having mental issues or mental vulnerabilities is what I'll call it. Right. And what people don't realize is that mental health looks different for everybody. But at the end of the day, we're all put on this earth and we all go through trials and tribulations. So it's like, we all essentially need therapy, in my opinion. Like everybody, some people like to act like their life is so perfect and they got it all together, but there's a point in time where you won't have it all together, and sometimes you won't have the answers. And you know, like you said, some people are forced to cope with that on their own. Some people are forced to just kind of seal it up and pack it away, and then you've come to find out that shows up later in their relationships,
in their life. A lot of time. I'm sorry, Morgan.
I just want to chime in on that, because it's like, it may feel like you have to go through it alone, but like what Hollie's really bringing to light is that you never have to. So even if you don't think you can go to your family or to those kind of regular people that you would typically go to, there is someone, a professional, who is literally getting paid to listen to you and understand where you're coming from, not judge you for it, not tell you that you're crazy for it, to let you know, like, I see you, I hear you, here's the solution to the problem that you're having, because they've dealt with people who have gone through that before.
And then not only that, a lot of times we have a hard time of expressing ourselves to people because we worried about where they're going to carry it to. You get a therapist, you don't got to worry about that because literally there's a law in place that they cannot talk about nothing. So you're not going to hear your mother come back about what you said about whatever the case may be. And the biggest therapist out here in this world is the Most High.
Yeah.
So like that's another thing that's going on in the world that a lot of people don't realize. I'll go back to the arrogance. There's a spiritual warfare going on. So a lot of stuff that you think you have control over, you don't. And that's why our therapy is good.
Yeah.
To help you process those thoughts that you may think you understand, but you really don't. And then the unthinkable guy, he wants you to deal with things alone because that's the easiest way for him to get you and beat you down. So whenever you're thinking about, I gotta do this alone, or I don't need nobody help, or anything the case may be, don't let that be the reason why you're struggling. There's help out here.
You'd be surprised how many people I come across. Mind you, I'm one of those Instagram comment observers, I will say. I'm learning not to engage because there's a lot of trolls on there, but you know, I oftentimes see a lot of people say like, when you try to introduce God as a therapy, right, and just Jesus in general, you'll notice a lot of backlash, like, y'all think God can just fix everything, and then they'll give like a example of how they believed in God, and then this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and it's like, what kind of God would put me through or put people through such terrible situations?
Right.
And it's like, in my personal opinion, and you might agree with me, I think that a lot of it has to do with generational curses. I think that even though you yourself may not, you know, have put out negative energy into the world or carry yourself negatively, maybe you do believe in God, but if your mom and your grandmother and like those generations of your bloodline have been cursing your bloodline this whole time, it's up to you to kind of realize that and break those curses. Otherwise, you're going to experience the same thing. It's like never ending. And so, you know, that it hurts me to see people like turn away from God because of those life circumstances when all they have to do is
turn to him.
Turn to him and bring those situations to him. Like,
it's like those are the situations where he's saying like, okay, you calling out to me, I'm exposing why you need to keep coming to me.
Exactly.
And because of that very reason, it's very hard for me to maintain relationships with people because a lot of stuff they care about, I don't really worry about much of anything. And I'm not saying I don't have stuff to worry about. It's just like, I'm like, okay. I don't know what you're going to do, Father, but I'm going to sit out and see it through. But with that being said, when people like just stray away, because everybody's so caught up on what they see, and when you're around those type of people, it just be so much chaos and struggle because it's like you don't truly believe. And then I know like all I do is place my burdens at his feet and then be still and know that he is God and he's going to do all that he said he's going to do, whether it's 5 years, 5 minutes, 20 years, or 25 years. If it was said, it's done, and if it was promised, it was written. So
period.
And that's another thing that was put in context to me recently. Like back in the Bible times, they was living till like 200 whatever years old. So it's like some of those things they were going through for like 40, 50 years. You know how much trust and faith you have to be going through what seemed like the same situation for 30, 50 years, but even in the span of your lifetime, it was like a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
So it's like, it really doesn't matter when you just trust that it will.
And I would say, one of my favorite stories in the Bible is Moses. Like I got a poem, it's called Exit This, like EXIT, in this, but it's like Exodus. So it's like,
I like that.
So,
I like that.
And the story of Moses, like, you know, he told him to do something. It took Moses almost 20 plus years to literally do what he told him to do, but it was all still there. Everything he said that he was going to give to him, he was going to do, it was still there. But, and the reason why people are in a situation they are, because we've been disappointments since the beginning. Like, since he put us here, like, we just been disappointed. Like, so, and I just believe, like, you just gotta accept, it's like, I know who my brother is, so like I'm not gonna get upset when he do certain stuff because I know my brother. So it's like with the Most High, he like, I know they're gonna disappoint me, so I know my children. So
Would you say you've always kind of been like this, or was there anything in particular that happened in your life that, drew you closer to God and just your faithfulness in general?
It's always been like around me in my life, but me actually receiving it and taking it in, it hasn't happened until like I was like, how old am I? I'm sorry, maybe 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. But like growing up, my mom, she had me in Catholic schools. I was in school from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. I was upset, but I understand now, and I really do appreciate her for that. But during that time, I used to come home with a book bag full of books. Like, Mom, they want me to do all this homework? Like, what? Then my grandmother, who she's no longer with us no more, but that was a while ago when she passed away. She used to make sure that me and my cousin Taja was going to church, and no matter what my grandmother and my aunt did the night before, Sunday morning, these girls better be at this house ready to get this dress on so we can walk up the street and go to church. Then I didn't understand because I used to go to sleep in church. But now,
Me too.
now, even when I used to come up you guys' house and we had games on the weekend, and I'm like, I know I still on Kurt's house Sunday morning, we going to church. But it's like, it's always been around me, but it's just never really been like, Hollie, hear me, But what had happened was in 2019, I was arrested with this young man, and it was a lot going on. And then one day I just went to church, and because everybody couldn't understand why I wasn't reacting like how a person in flesh would, irate, upset, want to do things like, and I just was just like leading people along. Like, they want to take my stuff, they want to steal, they want to do all of that, they want to be how they is on the internet. Like, we're not doing that. Like, my mom has a government job, she has stuff to lose. My father has a government job, he has stuff to lose. These people don't have nothing to lose. So it's like they didn't understand why I wasn't reacting. But then when I went to church, and it was that sermon, like my pastor just was like speaking everything that I was doing, like,
wow. It's always on time too.
Right? It's like they be knowing.
So when
he's like, who told you this happened? And then to write a sermon about it.
So that's when this confirmation, and ever since then I was just going back all the time, and then eventually like joining the prayer line, but I wasn't praying at the time. I was just listening to them pray. But I know my pastor had seen like, the will that I have, like, I want to be close to the Most High. I want to have my own personal relationship with Him. So then He made me like a part of the leadership team, and with the leadership team, my thing is with the youth. Like, I've always had a thing with the youth because them kids don't be asking to be here, and they be here, they be mistreated, they be misguided, they just be like destined to fail. So I'm a minister to the kids and do all I can. Like, I pray for them so hard, like, because it's just so hard to watch them. I'm like, y'all don't even know what a childhood is. Like, we really used to have a ball as kids, getting dirty. We wasn't worried about no money or toys or TikTok or nothing. We was outside running around, making our own jokes, being our own entertainment. Like, but yeah.
Do that many kids be worried about money these days?
I be having like 11-year-olds, 10-year-olds asking me like, is there a place that's hiring for them? And I'm like,
oh my God.
And it's simply because like, if your mom can't provide for you, they be having to do stuff themselves. Like, a lot of them little kids that's getting killed, they is spawns. Like, it's so that the bigger people won't get in trouble. So they just giving the kids stuff, and now the kids is just taking all the heat.
Trying to make that little bit of money. Yep. And it makes so much sense. Like, on the outside looking in, it's almost impossible to understand, relate. Like, to other people, it's just like, they should just get a job and like guns and drugs, but like, do you really see the root, like the cause, like why this is like, you don't have to worry about when your next meal is going to be, you don't have to worry about where you're about to sleep or who's about to be doing this in the middle of the night, you know what I'm saying? So,
like with that, like, get a job, but these kids don't have the proper skills to have a conversation, to resolve conflict, to have discernment. They don't have that. So like, you put them out here in the world and they're just so reactive. It's like a dog. They just want to I don't know, I just be so scared for them. Like, I just be so terrified because they delusional and they have a false sense of reality. They don't know what life really is like.
But then that's where you come in with the program that you work for and helping to set those kids up. Because it's like, sometimes the kids really are just looking for help, and then what they see that leads them in the wrong direction, that's just kind of that first thing. And like you mentioned, that discernment, but having people like you and your team that can come in and be like, look, I can show you how to get that job that you say you need.
Right.
I can show you how to develop the skills that'll take you to where you're saying you want to go, and there's other ways.
Yeah.
And then it teaches them that kind of like I don't know if it's self-assurance is the right word, but that kind of natural instinct in yourself to be like, you know, I am making the right decision right now. I'm following the right path. These people know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I can trust them.
The thing is with that though, when you trying to do stuff like that with kids, if the parent is not on board, because it's so much you can do. Like if the parent don't sign that paper, the child can't get it. You know what I'm saying? If the parent don't agree to this, the child can't get it. So it's like a lot of kids just be simply waiting until they turn 18. They be like, I just can't wait to get away from it, but don't realize life is a different ballgame.
Yeah.
Life is not like how it is when you're in a house. So you can be 18 out here, but if you don't have the basic skills that you need to function, it's going to be a hard time out here. Yeah. So we try our best when it comes to like giving the proper resources and stuff. But you know the saying, you can make the horse go to the well, but you can't tell them to drink the water.
Yeah, that's so true.
So we take them to the well, but the amount of people who actually drink the water, it's really just a handful of them. And we just do our best with those. Because like now that I'm older and I can realize it, that it might be wasting my time here, but still plant the seed, and hopefully years from now somebody else will water it and something that's sprout from it. But like when you play basketball, if the coach not saying nothing to you, it's simply because listen, I already know what it's going at, but listen, you can't miss that layup. I'm not really worried about him missing that layup because I expect that from them, but you can't miss that layup. So it's like now I just be trying to, have that discernment when it comes to kids. Like, all right, I know this parent and this family is going to, support what we're trying to do with this child. Let me pour a little bit more into him as opposed to getting upset because his mother or his father not, working with us to get better with them. Because that's what I used to do. There used to be a lot of turmoil because I'm like going back and forth with people's families about their kids. But I'm like, you know what, Hollie? No. Because you get drained.
Yeah. They don't want the help. They're going to learn quickly why they needed it.
Yep.
And so what things are you guys actually doing, with Be Rebuilt? That's what you're talking about, right? That organization.
Right now I have collaborated with different companies to, have groups of kids, even whether it's teaching about hygiene, if it's a basketball camp. Okay. If it's like right now, this month was all together August, so everything was about hygiene and why it's important to have good hygiene, what it is like to have good hygiene, what is included in hygiene, because a lot of kids don't even be knowing, and sometimes.
Why are you laughing?
I'm sorry, no, because it's right on time that you did that too, because they were just talking on Twitter, like, black boys don't be washing. They don't be washing their butt.
No. And you know what I learned? It's because they don't use washcloths. They use their hands. Seriously, it's a real thing.
No, seriously.
It's a real thing.
It was a comment that some dudes really believe that it's gay to wash their butt, to touch between their butt cheeks. They think it's gay. I'm like, who? Who created that rule?
Yes.
That's what I want to know.
That is so.
So that's important. Yes.
Yes. With that, I just try my best to teach them the stuff that life skills. Like, you need to know how to wash your clothes. You need to know how to brush your teeth. You need to know how to properly wash your hands. Like, y'all be wondering why y'all sick all the time. Y'all touching all this stuff and then rubbing your eyes and touching your nose and mouth. Like,
yeah.
But nobody's sitting down teaching them that. And like Rod Wave, he has a song, but I don't know what song it is, but he says it's crazy that you only know what people taught you, so who is to blame when like things go wrong? Like, if you didn't teach me that, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to do? Like, a lot of times these kids literally only learn because it's a lesson, because something bad didn't happen, because somebody done told them they stink. All right, now I don't want to stink no more. I don't like how I felt because she told me I stink. You know what I'm saying? So with them, I just, right now with Be Rebuilt, I'm literally, it's so funny. I'm literally rebuilding it back up because I got lost in life, like, just doing stuff for other people. And, you know, a lot of times when you're doing stuff for everybody else, even if you're not paying attention to it, you are taking away from yourself. And eventually, like, the more you keep on doing it, eventually you're gonna wake up and see like you done took a whole handful of everything from you. So right now I'm just trying to focus on putting myself in situations where as though I can do things and be rebuilt. I don't want to be taken away from being rebuilt. I want to, because I feel like that's part of my ministry. Like every time I don't do for the kids and a child die, I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm not saying I could have saved them, but it's like I feel like I could have did more. I'm not saying like for that child, but like I haven't had anything to, you know, bring in the kids to talk to them and let's see where they at with it. Because as far as life, and that's another thing. Well, with working in this world, like when people die and stuff, it's very rare that they ask these children how they feel, because you know they be so caught up into how they like say it's a family of 3. The mom lose one of the sons. She's distraught. She done lost her son, but she never really see how her kids is doing as far as them losing their sibling. So with they have Reason of Minds have another entity called Camp Mike, and we had a grief camp, and some of them literally watch somebody die in front of their face. Nobody never asked them how they feel, you know, and then it goes to therapy. You know, they grow up and they don't ever talk about it, and they never had therapy. So it's like now their minds is like, as a chemical imbalance in their mind because they've been stressed out and overwhelmed, but don't even know they stressed out, overwhelmed because they don't even know what them words mean, you know. So it's just like now like ending cycle with these kids. And I'm not saying that I don't care about adults. I know I'm about to be right transparent, but adults really make their beds unless they really want to do something like somebody kidnapped them, human trafficking, something like that. I'm not saying that's what they choose, but I'm saying like a lot of times 27-year-olds are dealing with stuff that they could have dealt with when they was 15. They chose to run away from that trauma or whatever, that characteristic that they couldn't break. They chose to run from that. So now they're 27. He's like, I'm this way because this happened to me when I was 15. But like, if you know, we all had something happen to us, but you better confront it, because if you don't deal with it now, you're going to deal with it in 10 years, or you're going to deal with it in 20 years, or you're going to deal with it while you're trying to raise your kids. So it's like, choose your battles. Like, I be trying to tell my kids that too. Like, hey, the problems you have now, if you don't deal with it at 10, 11, 12, when you're 24, 25, 26, you're going to still have those problems. They don't go away. They follow you. Like, it don't just go away.
In different situations, they keep repeating and coming up.
Yep. Go back to generational curses.
Exactly. So what are your future plans? I mean, I know you said you've kind of gotten away from it a little bit, but what do what are your plans for Be Rebuilt in, I guess you could say, the next year, 5 years?
God willing, I'll praise the Most High. At least once a month, I will be having a group for the kids.
Okay.
Like, I'm charging myself with that, and also I feel convicted to do it as well. So like, I feel like if I don't do one a month, it's like I'm gonna come home to like being punished or something. Like, you know, just how I think about it. Like, I know that he's not there, like physically, but it's like, he's there. Like, I don't do this when I get home. I fall, whip my tail, you know. So like, that's how I be thinking in my head. But yeah, at least once a month having a camp or a group. And a lot of people have been reaching out to me about tutoring. I don't know why they think I'm a teacher, but I know, but
probably need it.
Yeah. So now I'm looking into getting certifications to, like, you know, actually present something if they ask for it. But I'm getting into that too. I went to this. It's called the Children's Home, and I went there like 2 days ago, and they asked me to come in there to, you know, help the kids with math. Oh yeah, I can do math. Like, I love math, but I'm gonna have to find somebody else to read in the language arts because I can't comprehend myself. So I'm not good to help somebody with that. But definitely want to have a camp in a group at least once a month for the next 12 months. It don't even gotta be expensive, but as long as I'm planting a seed in somebody's child, and I just pray that the Most High just, you know, do his thing, like.
Which he will, because you're being obedient. You're doing exactly what he's telling you to do, and you're finding ways to kind of put your own kind of Hollie flair into it. Like, he's just saying you need to do something for these kids, and you're like, all right, well, I can do this.
Yeah.
Even just hearing that, like, you know, it makes me want to kind of get what you do out a little bit more, just to a greater audience, because I feel like it's just such an important topic. Everybody likes to complain about the state of where we are right now with certain people, but it's just, I don't know, I guess my mindset is moving more towards like a solution based, like what can we do, you know? And Mark, I know we were talking about, you know, potentially going down to like a homeless shelter and, you know, doing hair for homeless people, or, you know, a makeover for somebody. But I'm wondering if maybe we can collab with you and, you know, do that for the kids, you know?
And it was like,
For back to school, that'd be great.
that
It would, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I also wanted to do something like that with like, maybe not a group, maybe a group home too, but like something with the kids so then they can learn the actual skill of doing hair.
Yeah.
Because there's a lady at my job, and granted, like, it's not like she's in a bad position, but her 12-year-old is doing hair now. Like, giving people box braids, doing that kind of stuff. And it's like, if a kid, especially if they're in a position where they need to make money, if they can leverage a skill and go out there and do that, why not teach them how?
Yeah.
And everybody's gonna need their hair done, but everybody can't afford to pay $600-700 to go into a salon.
Yeah, and it's amazing that you said that, Morgan, because kids are just like sponges at that age. So like, you can even put a lot of good habits or a lot of bad habits in them. And if a child is showing interest in something, whether it's art, want to do hair, paint nails, I feel like people need to pour into that, because that would probably be a way of getting away from here.
Right.
You know?
And not everybody wants a job. And honestly, at 11, 12 years old, they can't get a job anyway. Don't they? 14.
Yes.
If somebody's hiring an 11 and 12-year-old, I need to report them to the Better Business Bureau, because what are you doing?
It'd just be like a simple family. At 11, 12, I was worried about playing GameCube. I want to play Crazy Taxi. That's the money I was making. But it's like, these kids, man, they just worried about, I don't know, they don't really understand that shit.
Is that something that you would also put on the parents as well?
Yes. Because a child can't come home and ask you for nothing. What you think they're going to do? Keep going without. Especially the way they think. These kids, their minds is like talking to a 4-year-old and a 5-year-old now versus like a couple years ago. I be looking at this little 4-year-old, 5-year-old, like, where did you come from, son? Like, you is an old man trapped in a little baby body. Like, the other day on the phone with Max, he like, how old was Max? 7 and 8 or something like that? And I'm sorry, I don't remember ages. Only birthdays, time ago. But I'm on the phone with Max. Mind you, he's 7 or 8. I'm like, what you doing? He's like, oh no, I'm about to go in this kitchen and cook me some French fries. What? What are you talking about? You about to go in this kitchen and cook you some French fries? Like, what are you talking about? You know, like, in the kitchen
with hot grease, a stove.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, little kids. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, these kids are so smart. It's crazy. So, like, you teach a 5-year-old how, I seen 5-year-olds on TikTok braiding hair better than me. I'm like, dang.
Right. Yeah.
But so like, people don't, that's nothing, I just feel like we strip our kids away from so much too soon. You don't know what they're capable of. A child might be a genius, but you're like, oh no, you're not ready for that. But put them out there and see what they'll do. You might just blow your mind. Yeah. I love kids so much.
Like, they're so talented too, and we just gotta give them the space to be talented, and then to get better at it, and to actually, like, these are the years when they should be sharpening those skills, not when they're kind of not out on their luck, but like out on their own when they're older and they're like, well, I've always wanted to do this, and ever since I was a kid, I love this.
And that's how I know you go. That's how it goes. And then you don't have time because you're working and you got a family or you worry about your bills. So it's like, as a child, like, you have to have a beautiful little girl. When you have her, just let her be creative. Like, I see people at an early age, like, teaching their baby how to do, like, just painting. And now the baby's 7 and she look like she painting Picasso. You know? So it's like, and it literally just started with, like, the mom started with a brush and some water. The baby probably was like 5 or 6 months and just letting the baby just do it. And then as she got bigger, like, she just take it to the next steps. And like, now the baby is really like, can look at stuff and paint it. And she's like 7 and 8 years old. So it's like, I believe it's giving chances.
Yeah, I think kids these days, like at a very young age, and I didn't understand this when I was little, but like they can get exposed to so much. And sometimes it's really not even the parent. It's like you go to school and your friends are like introducing you to this whole world that you've been sheltered from. That was actually my experience, and it was a little late in the game, you know, like we went to private school, so like certain things obviously still happened at private school, but like as far as like, you know, just drugs and like all of that stuff that a little kid just shouldn't even be thinking about, like sex even, you know.
Right in their face. I'm watching a podcast. Yeah. Just like you can learn how to have sex from a rap song.
Literally.
It's their favorite rappers, it's their favorite artists.
You got little kids in the car like, skinny, like, oh my God.
I was talking to my grandmother about that. And she was singing a song, she was like, let me not sing that because it wasn't these songs like back then. It was one of her songs back in the day. But she let me not sing that because Colette sang that around mother. You're gonna be like, where'd she get that from? I'm saying, Grandma, I doubt it. She's like, what you mean? I said, you haven't heard the song today? They talking about pointing to all that, booty hole that. Like, they not.
Just because they bleep out the cuss words, it's like, what are you still talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Like, that's why I was like, save y'all kids, bro. Like,
I want to shelter my child so bad, like, to the point where I might homeschool her. Like,
my child's gonna have no kid with the snake game.
Seriously, like, I want her to, like you said, focus on, like, her early childhood on, like, things like painting and, you know, learn your ABCs. You know,
teach her a different language, you know?
Like, I was just talking about that too. Why does every other country is mandatory for them to pretty much know at least another language? They know English, French, Portuguese, Spanish. And we over here like barely knowing how to speak English.
It's crazy out here. Like, they be thinking their kids are so cute online doing this. Like, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like,
you're embarrassing yourself and your child before she even knows what embarrassment is.
Right.
And that's another thing, like, because my belief in a lot of different things is a lot different from everybody else that's around me. Like, I believe in a lot of stuff. Like, if I was to have a child, I wouldn't even put my child on the internet. Because, like, I truly believe, like, there's spiritual predators on there, there's physical predators on there. So it's like, and a child is the most purest thing when they first get here. Like, they're easy susceptible to anything, like, spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally. Like, you might get upset, but you're not crying, but your baby crying because they know that you're upset, you know? So, like, I believe in that type of stuff. I'm not saying, like, I've never read anything about it, because, again, I have a hard time comprehending. So, me reading a book, I would read about it, but, like, I'm not going to go pick up a book for my leisure, like, oh, let me read this 350-page softback. No, I'm not doing that. So, yeah, I just truly believe that. That's another thing that makes me nervous, y'all. It's like they say it in the song. I believe the children are our future. This is what we're looking forward to. Like, these are y'all future teachers and y'all future, like, I don't want my child to be around that. Like, I'm nervous. Like, I'm scared. Like, seriously. Like, I be like, yo, y'all don't even understand. Like, even down to the circle of life, having an elderly person in my life now and having to, you know, be a caregiver in a way. You think these kids gonna take care of somebody's grandmother or great grandmother?
That's a great question. About some of the people that are in our group now.
Like, you know, so like I don't think people be realizing how big of a deal it is about this phone. Yeah. Everything is trying to take your children's mind, and like you're not intervening. Why? Because as long as I give this iPad to go tutu, and they gonna go sit in that corner, I can go here and chill and talk to my homegirls. Like, you know, so yeah. That's another thing. So just be very mindful, brave when it comes to the internet.
I be telling my parents now, like growing up, obviously you're like, how come they can do this and I can? And
that's exactly why.
I get it now. I see why I couldn't go to Skateworks. I see why. I see why.
No, for real, I say that to my mom all the time. Like, my thank you. I know I was a little rebellious and we argued a lot, but I get it now why you was like that, because like it shows now. Like people my age, like. I'm happy that she put me to school she put me in, because a lot of people are not tech savvy. Like, they don't know how to go through the work a computer. Yeah. I have an advantage with that when it comes to the working world, even though I have not been to college or anything. Like, I mean, I have, but I haven't graduated college. Like, I know how to work a computer better than a lot of people out here. So, like, I can always find me a job because the way the world is going, it's like, you better learn how to work a computer because eventually the robot's gonna be running everything, and if you cannot work a computer, what are you gonna do? You know, you're gonna be a caregiver your whole life, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, back to like, I see why, like, Mom, I understand, and I'm so happy she was so patient. She never really was like, yeah. She's like, okay, you wanna go out there? Go out there. And then I come back like, Mom, thank you. So
and I was gonna say, while we're on that topic, you know, how was that like, you know, just growing up in the city for you, like growing up in Baltimore?
It was a point in time we lived in a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. We had 3 generations in there. My great grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, and my aunt had moved down the street to Carey Street. But it's different when it comes to like, you know, seeing everybody have different stuff, especially because my mom wanted us to be in private schools and everything. And my mom didn't care about certain stuff. Like, she didn't care about the newest shoes. She didn't care about the newest clothes. You get what I'm saying? But you had some food every night. Your lights was on. You had a warm bed, a nice bed set. Your TV was on. You had the Wi-Fi. Any game you want is in there. But like that other stuff didn't really matter to her. So like when you go outside and everybody else is worried about that, it's kind of a situation. But when we was on Bruce Street, we didn't. When we was on Bruce Street, it wasn't really a thing because everybody was. It was like a family. It was like one block. It was like a mansion, but we all had different houses. But when we moved from up to Bruce Street and we moved to like different houses and stuff like that, it was different because sometimes we had to separate because of like people was. It's so funny because scamming and fraudulent things has always been a thing. So it's like my mom and my stepdad Antoine, they had got into a situation when it comes to that. So like it was the times that I remember like me and my mom and then we living with my grandmother and then they're living with grandma Angie and Papa. So like a lot of those type of situations. But I've seen and heard a lot, but not a lot of things have been done physically to me. I just seen it. So like, and I'm not the type to be like, if I see somebody touch a stove and they burn their hand, I'm not worried like, oh my hand not gonna burn. Let me go touch the stove. Like no, if it happened to them, I know it's gonna happen. It can happen to me. So I've always been moving like that. So yeah, I know that I really know that it was God when He had me come first as a female as opposed to like a male because that generational curse was just happening in because we was around a bunch of young boys. You know, all of them young boys that we grew up with, they either dead or in jail. I think only like 2 of them made out, you know? So like, that's how when my brother turned 25 the other day, and I'm like, bro, we already made it. Cause like, a lot of them didn't make it to see 25. So it's like, that's the only really big thing that really like sit on my spirit a lot. That's never reason why I'm with them kids because I can't watch another generation of kids like just, especially young men, just get wiped out by either system, drugs, or whatever the case may be. But the biggest thing that growing up in the city is like, I'm so happy that my mom got my Noah like out here now. Like he has a different like lifestyle when it comes to growing up.
Yeah.
Like, cause we had to deal with mice, you had to deal with roaches, you had to deal with, you know. I remember one time we was in a house and our back door didn't close. We had to board it up thing against the back door. It wasn't to them, it was our landlord. So like, it was just a lot of that type of stuff. It was never really. I know that big man had different experiences because I played basketball. So like with me playing basketball, when it was time to like summertime, I'm always gone with either Coach Kaylin, Coach Curry, Coach LaFawn. I'm somewhere with them. But I know my brother had to stay back, so I knew that he had a different upbringing when it comes to. I'm pretty sure he has a different point of view when it comes to life because I know he has seen somebody get killed before. I've never seen nobody get killed before. You know? And that's something that's really still stick with him to this day. Jalen, he just used to be outside. Like, I'm talking about in Pampers. Jalen. Like, you'll wake up and Jalen is gone. Like, he didn't laugh. People call him on the phone, like, his son is walking down Baltimore Street in his pamper. Like, oh my God. And heels. Like, because you know, like how you come in the house, you take your shoes off at the door? Jalen will put somebody's shoes on at the door and leave out. Yeah, so, like, that's the only type of stuff, like, we really had to deal with. I know that other than that, cause my mom, she did her best when it comes to sheltering us from certain stuff, and it's like me being me, like, why we can't do this, why you can't do that? And I go outside, and I'm like, oh, Mom, you're right. I don't want to go back down there, you know. So it's like my mom did her best when it comes to making sure that we were safe, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and if she had to take us from wherever we was at, no matter how people felt about it, she's gonna grab all her kids and we're gonna go. And now we know, like, wow, because all that stuff didn't matter. That drama never mattered. Sitting around talking about people with their problems never mattered. So it's like, she was always very like, listen, we got our own problems. She didn't say it. It's another thing I told her too, like, mine, all the lessons you told me was never really verbal. It was just like, I'm gonna show you how you do this. And it's up to you to understand. And that's what I really appreciate about my mom too, because she always allowed you to form your own, I wouldn't say opinion, but she'll let you see it for yourself. She's not gonna come and tell you about your father. She will let you see your father for your own self, you know? So my mom did her best for me. She knew we had to get away from that. And when she realized it, it was like an every year thing. And her and Antoine did their thing, with all the support and all the help. And now they have us, and we've been through what we've been through. But now me and bro, like, we be like, thank God for Antoine, because I'm pretty sure we didn't have that type of male figure in our life to see that you can make money a different way, or to see that you can love a woman this way, to see that this is how a family's supposed to be. I'm pretty sure we'll still be in that chaotic, toxic, like, thinking, like, you know. So now my brother, he got a nice little girlfriend, and he chilling, like, he loves on her, he loves her, you know, because he learned it from Antoine, like, listen, get your woman, build your woman, get out the way, you know. So it's like, everything just happened for a reason, and I wouldn't say it was all bad, but you know, some stuff you just have to go through because it builds character. But growing up in the city, it's definitely like, it can squeeze you. We'll say, you know, sometimes you can, what's the saying about diamond and coal? Like, you can press it, you press it to be a diamond, pressure to be cool. Some people turn to be cool, some people turn to diamonds. Like, it's just all about how you take it. And that's how, and I see that a lot too, like with my family. Like, we all had the same opportunities, we all just took it differently, you know? So that's how I feel like when it comes to growing up in the city, we all just take it differently. You either become that or like, oh no, I'm not gonna be in that. Like the same saying with the alcoholic father. Like, why you are an alcoholic? Because my father was one. Why you are one? Because my father was one. So it's like, I want to be a city boy or a city girl because that's all I grew up around. Oh, I don't want to be that because that's all I grew up around. I see that they get killed. I see that they sell drugs or do drugs. I see that they get pregnant and the people they pregnant by don't even like them. So it's like, I don't want to be involved in that. Right. So that's what the city was for me, like, options. Like, you can do this or you can do that. You know what's going to happen when you do that, and you know what's going to happen when you do that. So you can be insane or you can do and understand this game. Like, get yourself together. So
okay, you can be insane and understand the game.
So
it's really a blessing. It's really a blessing that you were able to take it that way, because you're right, like so many people, like you said, adults 30, 35, 40, like they still blame what happened to them or their circumstances on why they are the way they are. So it's like you take a guy like I don't know if you've ever heard people say like you can't trust a dude that, you know, whose parents didn't grow up in the same household and but like no, like you have guys that are toxic because of how their fathers were, and you have guys that grow up like, I don't ever want to be anything like my father, and I'm going to be a better man, I'm going to have a wife, I'm going to have a family. So, you know, I definitely love that was your experience. And, you know, it makes me wonder, because I'm a second child, but I know Destiny, you know, being the oldest sibling, like, how was that for you? Like, just, you know, did you ever feel like you had to, in a way, be a parent to your siblings or raise them in a way?
It's so funny you asked that.
We call Destiny Daddy Jr.
It's so funny you say that, because yesterday I was talking to Big Man, and he was like, you know, you like Lil Mommy for real. I'm like, what? He like, yeah, she not there to like let you know that you're wrong. You like, you gonna tell us, like, you gonna tell us the truth. I'm like, yeah, like that's what I'm supposed to do. But like growing up as the oldest sibling, when it came to disrespecting my mom, like that was a reason why I stopped doing it, because I'm like, bro, you doing it. Everything you do, they literally do. So if you disrespecting your mother, 9 times out of 10, they gonna grow up and start disrespecting her. So I'm like, you gotta change the way you think. So growing up as the oldest sibling, I remember in 5th grade, because I had already had 7 siblings. Mind you, the reason why I have 8 now, because Noah just came here 8 years ago. So like for all my life, I had 7 siblings. So I'm in school one day, I'm like in 5th grade, I'm like, dang, I gotta get a lot of money. So my friend like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I got 7 siblings and they each have 2 kids. That's 14 nieces and nephews.
Oh
So
my God.
no, I was in 5th grade.
Oh.
So I'm like, yeah. So ever since then, and then when I had met Coach Kalen, and I went to his house for the first time, I'm like, oh my gosh, house is this big? I'm like, I need one of these for my 14 nieces and nephews when the Thanksgiving and stuff come. Like, I'm already as a kid thinking like, I gotta, do some stuff because it's gonna be a lot of us. So
you know what? That's interesting that you say that, because I kind of wanted to follow up on Brianna's question and be like, did you ever feel like a sense of responsibility for them?
Yes.
Not just in a parental sense, but I got to make sure my siblings are good. I got to make sure that they're on that straight path. I got to do this. I got to do that.
Yeah, I actually thank God that like he has seen me through, I shall say. But growing up, I did have that sense of I gotta take care of my brother, and I'm talking about Anthony to be specific, because remember times like I would go over my father's house, I ask all of them for $20. Everybody, Godfather, my stepmother, my
I feel
father,
like Pop and Grandma Angie used to like give us money every time we came over.
my grandmother, and I would come back home and split it with my brother because like he didn't have that father relationship that I had with my father relationship, So it's like I've always like I gotta make this much money so I can give something big man so that he don't gotta think he gotta go sell drugs. You get what I'm saying? Or he don't gotta think that he gotta go rob, or he don't gotta think that he gotta go steal somebody's stuff out their car. So it's like that has been that's why I'm so grateful for Jam Jam, because Jam Jam is his girlfriend. Shout out to Jam Jam. And because I don't have to worry about those type of things, and not because she's gonna take care of her, but because like she has the same mindset that I have, which is like you're gonna be okay. You don't gotta be like, for some reason when it come to men, like when it come to like taking care of their loved ones and they money not right, like they whole everything is just like shut down. Like they just not the same person. So with him by himself and nobody to like have a ear, like talk to him to make sure that like you don't gotta go do nothing crazy, it's gonna be okay. To know that he has that is a better feeling as opposed to when he was out here by himself and I'm like, what is my brother doing? Let me call him. And I just come up randomly and give him $100. Like, here, bro. He's like, thank you, sis. But like, I really didn't have too much of that with a lot of my other siblings, because my father's side of my siblings, they was well taken care of when it comes to father, mother. They mother and they father live in the same house. And then with Yanni, she had her father and then her grandparents. And then the twins, they just had everybody. And then Noah, this is Noah's world. So it's like,
I was about to say,
it's like, I don't
It's a village.
So when that's the only person I really had that pressure of I gotta take care of my sibling was my brother. And then I remember, I just remember times like just making sure like, and I'm not saying that I was taking care of him financially, just making sure because he just starts. I don't know, like I said, when men money not right, I don't know what thoughts be running through their head, but you gotta be like letting them know, like, hey, like, relax, it's okay.
The right one's got the big man. He's doing insurance now. He's still making beats.
Right.
He's working, and now he's trying to get another job as well.
See?
So, and it's because of what he was raised around. Just extremely proud of him because all of them sold drugs, and he had the opportunity, and I thank them too because they never put him in his hands. They could have. But they always been like, nah, you're not doing that, So it's like
that's real.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie to you.
So I did.
Because usually it's the other way, the peer pressure, like you ain't about to come get this money and blah, blah, blah.
And that's how it is now. Like back then, they was not doing that, but now it's like they'll give a 12-year-old a pack in the garden and tell them go stand right here. So I don't know, but that's the only pressure that I really had of taking care of my siblings was that, and outside of like the emotional. When it comes to like respecting my mother, like even now I be having to get Noah a little bit. Like, hey, you ain't just see my mother walk in? Oh, hey, Ma. She like, girl, you do that all the time. I don't care how many times he does it. If I'm here, he's not doing it. Like, my mama just walked in the house. Go speak, cause the moment you want some tacos, you go, Ma, can you go make me some tacos? And she want to get up. Like, no. But other than that, I don't. Cause my mom, like, she's the epitome of strength. Like she did what she had to do to take care of her kids. So it's like it wasn't that much to have to do when it comes to take care of them. Because she always made us know that stuff don't matter. Like without saying it, like that stuff don't matter. Like That stuff don't matter. Y'all got clothes, and that's another reason why she probably put us in like schools. You had to wear uniforms because so she didn't have to worry about clothes. But she
I was clowned in 5th grade for wearing Payless shoes. They'd be like, "You got your shoes from Payless," and I'm like, so I used to tell Daddy like, "Give me some Nikes." Like he's like he even tried to tell me, like none of that stuff matters. But in that moment, it's like, bruh, like they're all clowning me. Like it matters now. Like it matters now.
You know what's funny? Like hearing, because I've heard multiple stories about Daddy from his youth, and he was the one that was caught up on the clothes and the shoes.
Being the
he had
bully.
to make sure, he had to make sure he was doing what he had to do to make sure he was out here looking fresh. And so it's like, why would you send me a Payless shoes?
One day he sat down and probably calculated all the money he spent on all those shoes. I'm like, what?
Like,
We used to clown him too. He was wearing his USPA, and we're like, Daddy, you I got real Nike polos in my closet. I'm like, they don't know that. They just see that big horse. A big horse on your chest, and you walking with us.
You gotta fix that.
But no, seriously, now that I'm older, I'm like, none of that matters. Like, it really doesn't. There's so much more in life that's going on. It's like,
I don't want to spin back around to Noah though, because this is kind of a two-part question. One, is there anything that you would want to say to him that he can kind of take with him just growing up as a Black man in this city, in this world? And then kind of like a diverted question, like, y'all just ride so hard. This is more of a comment. Y'all just ride so hard for him. Like, Grandma Angie told me the other day, Noah said, I want to go to Outback. Every single one of y'all end up going to Outback. All right, yeah, Holly, Noah went to Outback. We about to go out to Outback. All right, bet, I'm on my way. Amen. Noah wants to go skating. Everybody gets on their skates and goes out to go skating.
And it's because the first one, bro, it's okay to be yourself, be an individual. You're going to be around other young men and they're going to try to, tell you to do it this way or do it that way. I'm not saying don't take in what they're saying, but you don't always have to apply it to your life. You don't got to be rude about it. Let them say what they got to say. Keep going. But bro, be an individual out here. You already got that individual spirit up in you. And don't never let nobody taint it. Don't let nobody change it. Not your mom, not your dad. Because what God has for you is going to be for you, bro. So like, always be respectful. And no matter how smart you get, you can always get smarter. So, and I really want you to know that because you're very intelligent. Just know that no matter how smart you get, you can always get smarter. You can always learn something new every day. Every day you should want to still learn something new no matter how smart you get. And the riding for that young man, he is just, one, because we know that he really likes all of us together. And I remember like times like when like me and my mom was going through for real. And I used to come there, but I would leave. Like, I don't know if y'all know this, but there was a point in time Noah didn't know who I was, so we didn't have a relationship at all. Because
he was like on trips around the country, right?
I don't know, trips around my head.
I remember one time we came over and she was saying how you used to just go on road, like randomly. They called me like, Holly, where you at? Oh, I drove to California. Like, what? You drove to California?
It's really true.
I love that though. Like,
but,
get out of here. Explore the world.
Like when we leave though, he used to be that same. Y'all see when I take her down to my mom's house, that same window. He used to sit in the couch and just like
wait for you to come home.
No, watch me leave, and like I used to cry every time I leave. So like now when my man's want to do something, we got cars, we got our own money. What you want to do? Like this is what we've been working for, like so that you can do it. But now it's like, cause I forgot what my mom wanted to do something, and she was about to change the whole thing for Noah. I was like, oh no, he's gonna be fine.
It's like, don't get him used to that.
Like, well, he's gonna be fine, Mom. She's like, you sure? I'm like, I'm positive. If we go Friday versus Saturday, he's not even gonna know that what day you going. Like, he's fine. So like, when it comes to like what he wants, it's very because he's getting to that age where it's like now you gotta implement a little boundary with him because he thinks he's our age. He's not. Especially Jalen. He think he's on Jalen's You know, him and Jalen was the same thing. But I be trying to tell bro, like, because even that's the thing that me and Tyler used to talk about when we was younger, like, there's a certain amount of play you got to have with them, because when it's time to discipline them, and all they know for you is play, they're not going to take you serious, you know? So I be trying to let him know that too, without like treating him how I used to treat Jalen or Big Man growing up. Because I don't know if y'all know, but I used to be really, it was low-key torture. You know? So like, I used to be really crazy when it comes to like how I used to deal with my brothers growing up. So like when they come to know when he do something and it's time to like be a big sister, I'm like, bro, I don't like, for instance, example, I called his phone the other day. He just kept pressing the button on me. So I'm like, so I called my mother. She like, hey Holly. I'm like, hello mother, where's your son? She like, he right here. I'm like, bro, you don't hear me? You don't see me calling your phone? He like, yeah. I'm like, you pressing a button on me? He like, yeah. I said, do I press the button on you? He like, no. I said, all right, bro, don't do stuff to me that I don't do to you, because the moment I start doing stuff like that to you, you're not gonna like it. I promise you. Right. He was like, okay. So it's just like, now that was Jalen when I was younger. Probably like come to the house and like, you know, wrestle him up a little bit. But I be trying to be, because go back to generational curses, like I be trying to, you know, gentle parenting. Yeah. Explain the why. Right. You know,
gentle parenting from the big sister.
Positive reinforcement.
And it's because Noah be so like, because one time he had did something and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And he looking at me like, why are you yelling? Like, you know, like, I'm like, you're right, bro, what are you doing, bro? Like, chill out, relax. You're like, I'm just trying. I understand what you're trying to do, but right now is not the time. But when it comes to like doing what he want to do, it's because like we know that it's especially if Yanni home. If Yanni home and he say he want to do something, oh, we gonna all strap up our boots and go, because Yanni is in school now. So like, and he really enjoyed when all of us together. Like, it's just like a certain like look on his face. He just be like, you know. So
complete bliss.
Like all of us together. If you want to do something, we're gonna do it. But I'm also aware that it could also become a problem if it's not dealt correctly. Like, and when it comes to entitlement. And I don't want him to be entitled. I want him to be humble. I want him to understand that he can still learn. I want him to understand that, you know, life's not going to always give you what you want. Even though your mom and your dad try their best to do everything that you want to do, life's not like that. They just want to make sure that, you know, the stuff that we didn't get a chance to do, that you can do it. You know? So, and a lot of times when you don't explain that to a child, they take it as different, like, oh, my mom or dad gonna do whatever. I'm not just saying about my brother. I'm just saying like dealing with kids in the world. Yeah. Because like working with counselors like who are very I wouldn't say money driven, but they will buy the child something or do anything for the child. But when you don't do it, the child not complying. The child is disrespectful, disobedient. You know, so it's like you gotta let them understand why you're doing this, because they'll gather their own feelings and thoughts and run with it. And now
this is a privilege to get it right.
Yeah. Now they delusional. But I just pray that my little brother understand that it's okay to be him and always be him in a respectful, humble way.
Especially growing up in a world where everybody's like somebody else.
Yes, exactly.
Because he's definitely he's a gem. He's very smart.
Yes.
Little young man.
Like, are you cussed out that guy who tried to come for him when you posted in his money?
And you know, he walked home from school the other day. Not the other day, but like recently. Yeah, it was a miscommunication, but he just kept walking and he walked all the way home.
Oh. Okay, you know what?
Yeah, so now he really think he our age.
He's like, I'm grown now, I'll walk home.
Want to know when he can do it again? Never.
Right. One time I got off on the wrong bus
I'm
stop.
glad you made it back safe. Please don't do that again.
You did what on the bus stop?
I usually would go to my nana's. How old was I? I had to be like 6, 7, 5, something like that, right? Elementary school. And I usually get off on my nana's stop. She lives in the neighborhood. But for some reason, Destiny was home one day. And I was like, I want to go be with Destiny. I don't want to go over Nana's. So I remember I was getting off on the stop and the bus driver was like, this isn't your stop. Are you like, you're not supposed to get off? And I'm like, no, my sister's home. Like, I'm going to see my sister. So he's like, okay, like, lets me off. I walk all the way down the street and I'm banging on the door like, Destiny, open up. She does not come to the door. Nobody's home. And I just start crying, right? Because I'm like, At that time, I didn't know how to get over to my nana. She was right on the other side of the neighborhood, but I had no idea, no sense of direction, nothing.
You still.
Shut up. That was the beginning of it. But I started walking down the street, and I remember I was just crying. So this old man, who I found out later it was I don't know if you probably don't know Cecilia. She played like basketball with us real familiar. Quick, and then So it was her dad, but I didn't realize that it was just the old man in the pickup truck. Comes like, are you what's going? Like, are you lost? Where's your parents? And I'm like, I don't know. I was just trying to see Destiny. So I'm like trying to get in his truck. He's like, I can't let you get in my truck, but I can walk with you. So he literally walked around the whole neighborhood. Had to be about a mile till we got to my nana's house. And actually, it wasn't even Nana. It was Miss Brenda. She was our babysitter, but Nana was right next to her. So he starts walking, and like it's her house, and then it's Miss Brenda's house. And my Nana opens the door and sees me walking, like holding this random old man's hand, and I'm like trying to hide. She's like, Brianna, is that you? So she's like, and then the dude is like explaining, like, yeah, she was just walking in the neighborhood by herself, crying. Like, I got my butt whooped. It was so bad. You remember that story? It was crazy. Like, so yeah, no, it's smart. Because I lost it. That was the last time I ever did something like that.
Yeah, and when it comes to like that, because I had that type of stuff happen to me too, but when it comes to like living in the city, like, and because my mom had me going to schools and I gotta wear skirts and stuff, you know, I've been this size all my life, you know, like since I'm like 12, 13, 14, I've been this size. So it's like, the thing that I had the most problem with is like men, like grown men, like, and I think that's the reason why I went through that phase of my life, because like I was like, Mom, I'm just gonna wear sweatpants, keep my hair dirty, all over my head, look like a little boy, hopefully they leave me alone, and that still didn't work.
They don't.
Like, they don't care, like, I'm like, yo, but that's the only thing, like, I had, my biggest, like, thing was the men. And then, like, for me being in school from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. when I would catch the bus, it'd be dark.
Yeah.
And then you got all the drug dealers outside.
Even to this day, I'm getting used to it, but, like, sometimes when I do deliveries and it's getting dark outside, if I start coming to a store and I see a bunch of dudes just standing outside, I usually like will cancel the order. But I got both.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, I realized like it's really a stereotype because the times that I did like say, you know what, I'ma just go, like, they don't talk to me. They don't bother me. Maybe a couple times they'll be like, "What's up?" Or like, "Hey, how you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm good. How are you?" And I keep walking. Like, but for the most part, they mind their business. And then I'm also wondering, like, what are y'all standing out there for?
They asked me that too the other day, like how is it when it comes to men? I'm like, bro, I'd be terrified. Like, what you mean? I'm like, they come ask me for my number, I give it to them. Yes, here you go, you can take my number. And I would walk off and block them once they call me or something. I said, he like, why do you do that? I said, bro, like, they get mad, they be irate. Once you don't get them what they want, they start saying and doing stuff. Like, I just take their number and keep it going. But when I was younger, I would be like walking real fast. Oh my gosh. I got my earphones and I'm not even listening to nothing. I can hear everything, but like they still not talking to me. They're still talking to me. But that was my biggest like thing as far as living in the city, catching that bus, and going to school. I just I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it's just the guys are all different. I guess everywhere you go, you just never really know what to expect.
Right.
Like even now, you would think like, cause I know it's pretty obvious like that I'm pregnant now, but like I get so surprised. I'm like, why does it feel like more guys are like trying to hit on me? And I'm like, do you see that? Like, what are you doing? Like, and then they'll be like, oh, I didn't even know. I'm like, oh, so you just thought I was fat? And you still tried. Like that is just crazy to me. But yeah, I've heard a lot of stories of like just women being scared to reject men. It's like a big problem.
One just happened to this lady. She was walking her dog on Carey Street and the man got out of the car to talk to her. but the dog wasn't with it. He was like lunging and growling. So she's like, my dog is not friendly. So you know the man pulled. She told the man no, and my dog is not friendly. The man pulled out a gun and shot her dog.
Are you serious?
This was like the past month. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, this girl dog just got shot.
You witnessed it?
No, it was on the phone.
Oh wow.
Because imagine if it was Hollie walking Tokyo.
That's exactly how I felt.
He would have had to go up.
Like the other night, maybe like 2 nights ago, I had got up like 1 o'clock in the morning because I had fell asleep. Walked down, and I'm walking back and feel somebody behind me, so I spin around, and there's a man. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I just think you're so beautiful. Like I just had to come and tell you." I'm like, sir, it's 1:06 a.m.
Oh my God.
You have not said anything. The only reason why I turned around is because Tokyo turned around. Like,
oh wow.
I'm like, yo, it's crazy. And they go back to the spiritual warfare. Like, people are really, they're so arrogant, they don't realize, like, you think you're controlling yourself, you have no control at all. Like, you don't have no control of your mind, your spirit, and nothing. So it's like, when that spirit say jump, you're going to jump. But if you don't know how to get that aligned, that's why everybody out here just looking like zombies.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying.
I try to just kind of live, like, I know nothing's really in your control, but I also try to and like also believe that like with God I can do anything, and I'm always protected. Like for example, in those situations where I had the courage to walk into those stores with those dudes, before I got out the car, I'd be like, God, I know you're protecting I know you're protecting me. God, thank you for always protecting me. I'm gonna go in here and get this food, and I'm gonna come out. And then like I don't know if that was because I spoke that over myself, but I was surprised they wouldn't say nothing to me. Granted, like, you know, a couple blocks down, the police car is like parked over there. So I also felt safe about that, but they didn't like nothing at all. Not bother me. And I'm just like, thank you God.
Thank you, God.
And I think that's why our family, like, you hear a lot of these stories about like just tragic stuff happening to people. And it's like, I truly believe that our family in general, both my mom and dad's side, is just so protected with prayer. And it's like, I think our grandmothers and great-grandmothers just spoke so much life and protection over us. Because it's like,
I be feeling like,
it's crazy.
I like, thank you for my great-grandma prayers. Because it's like, I know they still protecting me and covering me.
And that's real. Because I was talking to Big Ma, and she was talking about her just childhood. And like, considering we are kind of reflections of them, Big Mom probably looks similar to how we did. Like, we're young, we got nice bodies.
I'm sure Big Mom was popping for real.
Right.
I mean, Big Mama.
She would get, like, men would just take advantage of that, and they would take advantage of her, and like even down to some people in her family. And it's like, if you don't even feel safe in your family, but you vow, like, my daughters, my children are never gonna have to go through this, so I'll work as hard as I can, I'll do what I gotta do so that doesn't happen. It's like, you don't know the scope of what those generational curses actually are. And then it's like, what happened to her mom, and then her mom, and then her mom. Like,
it makes you really think. Like, I'm so grateful, like, just to have us all here together. Like, I can't really, like, with an exception of a few people, like, I can't really say that I've experienced a lot of loss in my life. And granted, I know it's coming, you know, it's life, but I wake up grateful for that every day. Just like that my whole family is here.
Me
like
too.
we're all in good health.
Especially
we all
my brothers.
And it's just like a lot of people can't say that, and it's crazy to think about.
And I do that all the time too, Bree. I just like, God, thank you. Like, I'm just happy that my siblings have a positive relationship with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's I don't see how people can hate their siblings. You know, like, and I'm not saying that people can't do certain things to rub you the wrong way, but there's nothing in this world that my brother and my sister can do to me that I'm like, you know what, flip off. Y'all, I'm done with y'all. Cut y'all
can't
off.
forgive them for it.
You know, like, and then I'm really big on the stuff you say out your mouth, because I believe in that stuff too. Like, I believe in you speak the things that's going to happen to your life. So like, I don't even try to like. I don't like the person I am when I'm mad, yo. Like, literally, you know how like you can like not like that trash bag. Like, if I was mad, I'm like, I do not like her. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I try my best to not get mad, and I try my best not to be around people that make me mad, because I don't like the stuff that I say or the stuff that I do when I get mad. So it's like, I don't let that type of stuff try to do with me like that no more. Especially since like growing up, how I was emotionally. Like they used to call me a possum puppy because whatever came to my head, I'm doing it. You know. So like now I'm really like aware of who I am as a person. I have to spend a lot of time alone to understand who I am and why I act the way I do, as far as like emotionally and the things I say on my mouth when I get upset. So when I get upset with my brothers and sisters, before I say anything, I'll say nothing. Because like my grandmother said that too, like you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. But as a kid, you don't understand that. But when you get older, it's like I get it, like.
And that's real strength right there.
Yeah.
But a lot of people think the strength is being able to fight and being able to retaliate and defend yourself, so on and so forth. But it's like,
power and let go.
You have the power and the strength to be like, you know what? You're taking me out of my character right now, or at least I feel myself getting out of my character right now. So I'm gonna step away.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get myself together.
Yeah, for real. I love my siblings, like wholeheartedly. I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't have that many siblings, because I wouldn't feel like I have to work this hard, you know?
That's
like, and I'm not saying that because who they are, it takes away from me if I don't be able to do stuff for them, like, because I don't do that. Like, I don't have to buy them anything for them to know that I love them. Like, it's the knowing that you call me, whatever the case may be, I'm coming. I don't care where I'm at. I'm gonna figure something out. Like, listen, I'm at work. Let me try to finesse them and let them know that I gotta go. You know, like. So when it comes to my siblings, I'll do anything for them, and they know that. All of
Your sister loves you.
Period. Speaking of doing anything for anybody, because I know that, I don't know about you, but I also feel that way about my animals.
Yes.
So like, I do want to talk a little bit about Tokyo and Nala, the little gremlins, you know. So Tokyo was first. How old is Tokyo?
Tokyo will be 2 in November. Me and
Oh,
him are
Scorpios.
Scorpio action. Yeah, birthday 2 weeks apart.
Is he gonna have a birthday party?
Yep, birthday is up there.
It's only right. Doggy cake and everything.
But like I tell people all the time, like I love Nala, but like Tokyo's my dog. Like God made Tokyo for me.
How'd you get him?
Be more connections on Facebook.
Oh wow!
And it's so funny because like when I got him, I'm like, bro, I'm talking to him. I be talking to Tokyo like a person. I'm like, bro, I ain't never had no like multicolored dog. I don't know what you gonna look like when you get older. So it's like we won't see how this works. But he grew up to be a very handsome young man. Like even when I be leaving out the house, I'm like, bro, hold it down. I'll be right back.
He just be like that.
He be looking at me like, I got you. I be telling people all the time, I'm like, I be paying rent for him to stay there. He be in there more than me. And
is
like,
Be More Connections like a Facebook group? Or
it's a Facebook group, and it's like people be selling stuff on there. Oh, and then it's crazy because man, the lady who gave me Tokyo, man, her we still be talking. She like, I'm just so happy that you got him because Tokyo is a very crafty man. Tokyo is very smart and is very annoying sometimes because it's like he's in that teenager stage where it's like he's doing stuff knowing he shouldn't do it. I'm not saying like he chews up anything. Tokyo doesn't even have a cage. He literally walks around the house when he doesn't do stuff that you get. Like yesterday, perfect example. I go to my grandmother's house. We actually have an arrangement. I go get the arrangement. As I'm coming back, she's calling my phone. She like, the little kids blew up another pit bull up in the yard. Tokyo and Nala got out the yard. In my head, I'm thinking Tokyo just ate a dog because Tokyo was in this stage because Tokyo got attacked at the dog park. And a Rottweiler had bit his neck. He had this gash, and ever since then, he does not like. He hasn't been like another dog. So like in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna walk to a bloodbath. So I get there, I'm asking the kids what happened or whatever. They're like, oh no, he just was jumping up and down, sniffing her butt. I said, oh, it was a girl, so that's great. Oh, like, it was a girl. So woo, that's great. Right. So I'm like, well, let me see the cameras because I'm thinking it's Nala. I'm thinking Nala is the one who left first and Tokyo followed her. No, it definitely was Tokyo. He definitely got up on the gate. Hit the little thing on the gate like with his nose and pushed the gate open and walked out like a person.
Crying.
So it's like I'm like,
yo, be smart.
And when I be leaving out the house, my mother be like, make sure your doors is the top lock and everything is locked because you know he gonna probably open that door. And sometimes I come home because I close my bathroom and my bedroom door because I'm allergic to the Tokyo dogs. So like.
Oh wow! If I'm what is that like?
That's how I'm congested right now. If I'm up underneath Tokyo, I'll be sneezing and stuff. So like I be trying to like keep us separate. One day I come home from work. Normally he peeks his head up off the couch so I can see him. I don't see no eyes. I'm like, where is this dog? He walks out my room stretched.
He was all in your bed.
You was in my bed.
Not you
Taking
stretched. He said,
Baby,
I
like,
was so comfortable.
so now I just make sure I gotta hear the door close. I'm like, I'm like, nah, I don't know if he's opening these doors or I'm just forgetting to close. But she's like, Holly, I think he's opening them. I'm like, I think so too, but I don't know. So now I have cameras in there. I'm like, go ahead and open that door so I can see. Like, crazy boy. But yeah, he's very crafty. I love him so much. Me and Jay Boog were just talking about it. Jay Boog is Jalen. I don't know if y'all know we call Jay Boog that.
okay, yeah.
So we call Jay Boog. He was like, yo, I just realized, like, yo, you and Tokyo been doing a lot together. Like, it's been a lot. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, we done been moved like 3 times. We done been chilling like 1 time. Like, you know, like, we had to stay at my grandma's house before. Like, it was a time like Tokyo was going to daycare every day because, like, I didn't have a spot to stay and I was staying with my grandma and I didn't want to leave him in the house with her. So, like, I would take him to daycare. So, like, man, Tokyo, that's my homeboy. Like, he listens to me, like, when he wants to. Only thing is, when he don't want to, is like, because he's like on this like defense thing now, like. Yeah. But even though he on the defense thing, like he stay close. Like it's weird now that he got knowledge too. He turned to a whole different dog. Like so, like when people be like asking me questions, I know they think I'm crazy because I'm like, oh, I don't trust him. They be like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't trust him. Like, what are you talking about? Like he's an animal. I don't know. He might be chilling right now, and if you get close to him, he might do something.
That's
like,
how Poppy is.
I would just rather not, you know. So I tell him about that all the time. Like she's like, why would you? Because she got a yard. She's like, he's not going nowhere. Just let him run around. I say, yeah, okay. I said, y'all don't know Tokyo. That's
a way.
That's what I'm telling y'all. Yeah, this is why y'all send these things. Like, no. I don't want to put him in no situation. I don't like nobody put him in a situation. The only thing I don't like being downtown when walking him, like people can see that he's like, you know, not feeling your dog. And you gonna continue to walk towards us. Like you see me trying to get him together, like and I be trying to tell him like, bro, they don't know that. Like I'm trying to tell him like, bro, like I'm talking about like a regular friend, like bro, they don't know that you used to be friendly when it comes to dogs. Like they don't know you got attacked. They just see a pit bull. Like they think you're trying to eat them. Like when really Tokyo is like he's a teddy bear when it comes to like.
Hippos are big babies.
Baby, you know. So now that he got Nala, and the reason why I got Nala is because I had to tell him, you know how I am a boy, Damon. Like, bro, I am your mom. Like, you cannot do these things to me. Like, leave me alone. So I got him Nala so that he can do his little thing. I am not a breeder. I let people know that all the time. Nala's literally there to just let him get his thing off. So he can leave me alone, you know. So like, and they know. But once that happened, Nala's getting sealed up, and they live a happily life forever. And hopefully that they have a boy that look like Tokyo because I want a boy from Tokyo, and that's it. But
Nala's a beautiful dog.
I love her color.
I love Nala, but she just. Nala is bad.
It's always the girls too. They don't listen.
And she's way different than Tokyo. And I had to tell my siblings that. I'm like, yo, y'all need to come meet Nala. Like Nala's not like Tokyo. Like if you come in the house and she don't know you, she be like nipping at your ankles. Like she don't like people touching Tokyo. She right there. I be having to tell her, girl, it's okay. They can touch him. Like, do you not realize they was touching him before you even came? Right. It was wrong. And then like she sounds like a big dog. So like people be actually scared. I'm like, she's only 5 months. She's not even a dog. This little baby is just crazy. But
you remember Zena's first base because she used to go. And then one time she was like, boom. I'm like, oh, what was that?
And that's the thing. Nala don't cry. She has not cried since I got her. Like even down to like when I put her in the cage and leave her in the house, she don't cry. Nala always bark. So like I had to tell people that too. Like if she's barking, that don't mean she's being vicious. Like that's how she communicates. Yeah. Because she don't cry. Like so she definitely be barking. She been barking. I remember when my brother had came to my house one day. And he opened the door and she was barking. He like, that's Nala. She probably like 3 months. I'm like, yeah, that's Nala. He like, yo, that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, I know. Like, she definitely different.
Yeah.
But she only thing that be getting on my nerves with them two is because Tokyo was barking at other dogs when she was a puppy. She has picked up on that behavior. So now when we outside together and if Tokyo see a dog or if she see a dog, sometimes Tokyo won't care. Sometimes Tokyo will. But if Nala sees a dog, she thinks it's up to her to bark. So like it's constant redirection like the whole walk. If she sees a dog, like Nala, stop, sit down. Nala, stop, sit down, give her a treat. Nala, stop, sit down. Like no. But I definitely their reason why I want land too, because they deserve that. Tokyo loves to run, like he loves to run, and I love watching him run because he's so fast. And one thing that I've noticed about them too, like whenever you get a chance and you go to your dogs, look at their back hind legs. Like some dogs have 5 and some dogs have 4. Tokyo has 4 and Nala has 5. And I looked it up and it said it's like a breed thing. Like some dogs.
Really?
And it makes sense because Tokyo, the way Tokyo moves, like Tokyo's a different dog when he's out in like the nature. Like if he's out and there's a bunch of grass in the field, he's like whatever that dog is that's in him. That's another thing I want to do a DNA test of Tokyo and see what he has in him, because I know it's a lot. But yeah, Tokyo was definitely that's definitely my dog. Like he knows, like Tokyo be knowing something wrong with me if I know something wrong. Like especially like if I be in the house, and I'm ranting because something done got on my nerves, and I'm walking back and forth and I'm talking, or I'm in the bathroom in the mirror and I'm talking. He'll come and look at me like,
what's wrong with you?
You good? And then he'll just bop off like, let me go in this corner because she is geeky. You know, like, I know Tokyo.
It'd be like
but
that.
Yeah, he definitely like, he has like really helped me with life when it comes to like my emotions. Cause like even I'm not saying I'm perfect with it, because sometimes he still irritates me. But it's like I be realizing like I have to get better with that. Cause one, you can't be like that with a child, Hollie Booker. And then 2, like
still learning that.
He don't be knowing sometimes, and and then me, my delusional self, I just be like, they know what I'm talking about. They know what I'm saying. And the only reason why I know, that's why I say Tokyo is my dog, because I know Tokyo knows what I be saying. Because one day, this before I got Nala, like I used to let Tokyo sleep in my bed before I got Nala, because I used to feel bad for him. And one day the little joker hops in my bed with his toy. I'm like, Tokyo, there's no way you thought that is okay. You know, I'm like, there's no way. Like this time I talked to him, like, there's no way you really thought that was okay. I was like, Tokyo, get your toy off my bed. This man picked his toy up with his mouth, threw it on the floor, and then laid back down.
Oh wow!
So yeah, you know what I be saying, like you know what I be saying. But Nala, she just like.
She's still a baby technically though, so she
didn't hear you.
Yes, and if she did hear you, she'll look at you, let you know she heard you, and then just turn her head and keep doing it.
You're like, okay, that was cute.
Okay, Nala.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, since you don't cage them, because I can't even imagine.
No, I cage Nala.
Oh, you do?
I don't cage Tokyo. I cage Nala.
And how is that? So you said he was just never destructive from the beginning? Is why?
No, that's not what happened.
Okay. Tell me about that. I cannot leave Xena out by herself at all.
It's so funny because this wasn't my plan. Tokyo did this on his own. So like Tokyo had a cage when he was probably like 2-3 months, 4 months. And then like at like 3-4 months, Tokyo was telling me he had to go to the bathroom. So I just got Tokyo a gate. And then I attached the gate to his cage to see how he was going to act. So he never came out the gate. Like he'd come in and out of his cage, but he'll stay inside the gate. So then eventually I just took the cage away because he outgrew the cage, because I was going to buy him a new cage. But it was like, he was just standing in the gate. He was staying in the gate. Like, what
was it a tall gate?
Like, no, it was like, because it was to the point where it's like, yeah, people were like, he's going to jump over that gate. He's going to jump out of the gate. I'm like, he's not. No, he's not. Like, and he never did. No, wow. So like, he stayed in the gate. Then I moved downtown. One day I come home, the gate is in the middle of the floor, he's on the couch, and his water bowl is on the other side. His water bowl is on the other side of the thing. So I'm like my Tokyo,
he done figured it out.
He figured it out. I said, he left the gate this time, but he ain't do nothing. So that's good. So see what he do tomorrow. I'm like, okay. So I'm talking to my friend. He like, I don't think Tokyo gonna do nothing. I'm like, I'm at work right now. I just know I'm gonna go home. He gonna even chew my couch up, something, you know. So like I come home, he chilling again. I'm like, oh, okay. Wow. So then since then we just kept it like that, you know?
Thank God.
Because
they get bored and they do
whatever. I never had plans to have him just randomly walking around. He did that on his own. Like he left.
He showed you that he could be responsible.
You know, like listen, like why you got me in this gate like type time. But Nala, I don't know. I don't think she's gonna ever get to that.
I was gonna say, have you tried?
No.
And then okay, you just
because she will choose something while I'm standing right there. You know, I'm like, you just have no like discretion. You don't care nothing. Like one time, my mom, she gave me it's so funny because she just bought some new ones. She bought some lemon cake. I just knew I was gonna have some lemon cake.
No, she did not eat your lemon cake.
Bitchy. The whole thing. Like when my mom
she got up on the table, or you left it on like one of these types.
No, I had left it in my car, and I left them in the car. I went in the house, and I came back, and it was gone.
Dang, she didn't even let you get it in the house.
Nothing. I look at Tokyo. I said Tokyo because I was telling him all the time, like, you need to get your homegirl. And he be looking at me like, yeah, your homegirl is about to get put out.
They be
He
knowing
looking at you like, you the one that brought her in here.
Uh-huh. And then like it's so funny you say that because when she get the spritzies, oh my gosh, she go sit
he go sit in the
corner and be look at her, he look at me, look at her. I be like, bro, you used to do the same stuff. This how I felt. Like,
that's hilarious.
You know? And then like with the whole like playing situation, Tokyo just always plays like, but now he has calmed down a lot. But before I got Nala, like it was no calming Tokyo down.
Yeah.
So now there's no calming Nala down. So when he be wanting to chill, she be jumping all over him and doing a whole bunch, and he be looking at me like,
videos,
he
like,
be looking
get this
at
girl
off of me. I'm like, yeah, you see how I feel now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But them two, man, they need a show. Like I really be laughing at them. Like today, we was sitting waiting for the, I'm gonna show you. We was sitting waiting for the elevator, and I looked down, and this is what they doing.
I'm crying.
I'm like, what are y'all doing, bro?
Tired?
Like, no, because Tokyo just laid in the floor. So she said, let me do the same thing. Like, I'm like, what are y'all? What is wrong with y'all? And it be insane. And when because when I first got Nala, everybody used to think like Nala was his puppy. I'm like, nah. Like she was like, they so in sync. I was like, I know. And like the guy that got Nala from, she's like, that's how he's like, that bond gonna be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
They sit together, they sleep together, they eat together, they poop together. Like at the same time, like we be walking and they both would stop and poop at the same time. Like I be looking at them like y'all two.
That's hilarious.
Like,
That's what happened when you used to be together all the time, I guess.
I mean, sometimes she feel like she don't gotta listen to me. So if Tokyo do it, she'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very like it's loud. Like she is like it's that is there. Like I'm not listening to you. If Tokyo do it, I'll do it. I would tell you, you better get your home girl, bro. Before y'all be living together outside somewhere.
Right. That's hilarious.
It's like I would never do that. I would live in my car before I get rid of my dogs.
I feel that.
So at what point do you want to have, like, I'm going to call it the doggy sanctuary.
Oh,
doggy farm.
I thought she was about to talk about kids.
Oh my God.
I was like, what? Ooh.
Don't act like it's very far out.
I mean, those
You
two.
got till about, what, 35, they say?
Yeah, I gotta get this land. I'm nervous.
Mm-hmm.
But,
So what are your plans with that? Yeah.
Right now,
Sorry, I just asked you a question. May it be the chip.
I'm sorry.
They do their thing.
Right now, I'm just doing my getting my stuff together that I don't have together as far as financials, whether it's taxes, whether it's whatever the case may be that you're gonna need when you're gonna go buy some land.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm just doing that. Once I get past this phase, and I'm also trying to get an actual career. Like I'm not saying that where I work at is not a career, but like I want something more stable, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and something more I can rely on as far as trying to get my land.
Yeah.
When it comes to what's the word? When you like apply for stuff and like you gotta turn in all your paperwork. I just want to make sure that all those is lined up.
Yeah.
But I really want to I don't know. What would I call it? Not a dog sanctuary. Because I was even talking to my mom about that. I know we're not talking about this, but I'm talking about it now.
It's all connected.
I'm like, when because I forgot what I had told her, but it's something about if you have a pet graveyard or something like that, some type of money that's included in that.
Oh,
like,
wow.
like, well, we should get once we get this land, we need to have a pet graveyard, pet cemetery, and we can get friends with the dogs and stuff like that. Because there's people in this world that's gonna pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really just want to have
You're gonna have people coming to visit though.
Can we
see old Smokey?
Oh, Smokey. But like, yeah. But I just want, cause like, if Tokyo could live outside, he would. He likes to be outside. Like, that's his thing. So it's like, I really want to have it with, so he got like a little thing around his neck that when he come up to the door opens for him to go outside so he can do that as he please. Cause I don't plan to do much for him. Like, he's a very independent grown man, you know, like, I be trying to tell, like, bro, you need to learn how to take some trash out in here. Mop the floor.
That's the crazy
Mop the floor or something. Like, bro, come on, help me. Like, I really be having interventions with him. Like, seriously, I'm pretty. And then, oh my gosh, yo, one time, right? So, like, when I had first moved in my apartment, I was in the elevator going up, and this lady and this young man had got on there. At the time, I didn't know they was my neighbors. So I'm talking to the little boy. I'm like, what's your name? He told me his name, whatever. I'm like, what floor y'all go to? Like 10? I'm like, okay. So then when we walk past, and then I see that she's my neighbor, I'm like, okay, cool. So in my mind, I'm thinking, like, she think I'm crazy. I know she be hearing me yell at Tokyo through that wall. And I'm all in the elevator like, oh my gosh, how are you? Right? So then I walk Tokyo and come back. But when I'm coming back, she's coming out of her apartment and I'm walking in. She's like, oh, that's Tokyo. I'm like, yeah, she definitely be hearing me yell at Tokyo. But I'm glad she see that as a dog and not a baby because say, listen, I need y'all need to come get this lady. She's in there abusing this baby. Like, yeah, so I called my mom. I said, Mom, she probably thinks I'm crazy.
It'd be like that.
She do.
Maybe she understands. Shoot. These dogs don't be listening.
Yeah, it's like right now he's sitting in his gate. I know he mad. Because Tokyo did not like his freedom taken away from him. He's in that gate. Like and every time he think we cool, I'm like, why would you leave that gate? He like, yeah, why would you leave that gate?
Does he huff and puff?
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, yes, like I'm like, what do you like? If you tell him something that he don't want to hear, it be right on cue. That's how I know he be knowing.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Like, I'm sorry. Did you have the $100 for
crazy boy, like them dogs, like, and like Jalen be tripping out Tokyo because Tokyo he says so much with his face, like. I cannot explain it. Like one day y'all gotta meet him and y'all see like that is a lot of personality in that little dog. And he's such a different dog though since Nolly came. Like I got this maintenance guy. Like when I first moved there, like him and Tokyo was like this.
Oh wow.
When Tokyo see this man now, Tokyo walks past him as if he don't even see him.
What?
Yes, he be like, "What's going on with him?" I'm like, "He didn't change since I got Nolly." Like, he like, "That's crazy. He don't see me right here." I'm like, "I guess not." Like,
that's
and even when we be walking, like Tokyo, I used to have a real like hard time with like letting them know, like, "Bro, why you keep trying to like? We want to get there. Relax." Mm-hmm. Now Tokyo is right here, or he's walking behind me, like, and walking real slow, like this. Like he's very like
he got his head on the swivel.
Mm-hmm. But he
you got him in protector mode. Now he got 2 women to worry about.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's how he acts too. But I really do like appreciate the fact that the Most High sought for me to be his dog mom because it's just certain things I don't be having to say to him. He just know. Like if I look a certain way, he be like, "Hey, get out of the way now. Like, please leave me alone." Like I just I truly pray that when they do have puppies, it's one that look just like him. Cause I want a nail.
Well, you're probably gonna get about 8 of them, so hopefully one of them.
Yeah, I didn't even, and that's the thing. I didn't even want another girl dog. I literally only got Nala because he just was doing too much. And then like for me being like out the house a lot, just give him something to talk to. I guess I don't know. Right. I just thought about it in a way. Mm-hmm. So I don't. And then it really benefited him because he's definitely a different dog. He be chilling. He don't seem so like take me somewhere all the time. I'm not saying I don't, because we do our whole like feel. Like I told my this lady asked me that yesterday. She's like, "How is it having 2 dogs?" Like I just couldn't imagine. I said, "I love dogs. Like they are my life. Like I will stop doing something to be with my dogs. Like you know how people like plan like I'm gonna plan this, plan that, plan that. Like no, like I've already got these times planned for my dogs. So like, if you want to do something, it cannot be around that time or in that time. That's how I be with my life. She's like, "Oh, you're crazy." I'm like, "No,
nope. I'm at peace."
Yeah, right. I'd rather chill with my dogs than hang with folks, eat with them than eat with folks. And it's just like Tokyo he's like my mother just called him a handsome fella. He's just so he's so perfect when he not doing what he want to do, like leaving a gate. I'm like, bro, why would you? I'm like, bro, why would you leave that gate? And he looking at me like, bro, why would you leave that gate? Like, you know better. Like, I'm just so happy he wasn't a male dog. Like, because I wasn't too worried about him being around kids, because he loved kids. He's been around kids all his life. But this male dog situation, he is not letting it up.
That's just an alpha male thing with dogs. If they feel that alpha energy, then they get like it's something, I don't know what it is.
And like with pit bulls though, like, because that's another thing that I deal with a lot. Like, people be trying to act like Tokyo's gonna eat them. I would kindly say he's not worried about you at all. Like, he's not worried about you, and I just don't like that how people be. I feel like Chihuahuas are more of a nuisance than pit bulls.
Oh, yes, they are. I'm glad you said that, because they're really the devil. Like,
First of all,
oh my god,
what two animals did you put together to get a dog that small?
Right, that one.
I've never met a Chihuahua that didn't cuss me out.
That's funny.
Like, you're a little stressed out. I'm nice. Like, you're gonna be evil? Okay.
And then people don't realize a lot of stuff that be wrong with dogs is genetics. Like, certain dogs are just used to being hunters, but then you got them in the house and they're not used. It's like, I don't see dogs as good and bad, because like, I'm pretty sure other dogs attack humans and stuff, but it's not broadcasted all over the news. It's just like, it's just kept to where it is. But I don't see them as good and bad. I see them as who trained them, how they are with their owner, and like, are you doing what you need to do to make sure that dog is still a dog? Like, you make sure that the dog is getting the exercise that they need. The sniffies out because they like to sniff. The running out because they like to run. Eating because they like to eat. What are you feeding your dog? Like, one time I was talking to this man and his dog got a whole bunch of skin problems. I'm like, okay, what you feeding him? He like, oh, she on a raw diet. I said, maybe you're not feeding the right stuff. Right. You know, like, maybe she's lacking something. Like, something not right for her to have all these skin issues. Like, thank God. Like, only the problem I ever had with Tokyo was if he did something. Like, if he physically hurt himself because he played so hard. So like, anything else, like, and I don't feed Tokyo dog treats. Like, I don't do that. And any treats Tokyo gets, either like celery, carrots, apples, stuff like that.
That's good.
I don't. I believe in all that stuff. Like, I believe in all that stuff. So it's like, when it comes to, like, Tokyo hasn't had skin problems, nothing, and I thank God for that. Only time he had a problem was when he went to doggy daycare and he had got, I think it's called kennel cough or something like that. I'm talking about, it's a real thing. Like,
kennel call?
Yes. Like, he had snot coming out his nose. I had to take a baby suction thing and pull them boogies out his nose. Like,
what?
It was so bad. Like, I stayed home from
work. Is it from other dogs being sick? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I had to
preparing you for kids.
That, and I had to
oh god,
really like nurse my baby. I did not like it because he just was like so tired. I'm just used to him being energetic. You know, he just slept a lot. I was really sad for him.
Yeah. Wait, which one? You said that was who?
Tokyo.
Oh, when he was going through that. Or just hearing different stories about the Catholic Church in general. And it kind of blows my mind how, like, we know that everything that the Catholic Church does and stands for isn't really accurate as far as like pagan holidays, all this stuff that we created that God never told us to do. And it's like we do it in the name of the New Testament, right? And so then you have all these different branches. You got Baptist, Methodist, Presbyterian, Colgic, just learned that today. But it's like so many different branches, but nothing really changes as far as like some of that stuff that some people would argue is like a mockery, like as far as Jesus's birthday and Christmas, and then you talk about Santa Claus and then Easter. Like, God never even said anything about Easter in the Bible. So it's like we made that up. And in college, I came across this group of people that you might have too, because I think they target like college students. But they came up to me and they're like, oh, are any of you guys like Christian? It was me and my friend Camden, and we were like, well, Camden didn't really, she's like, I mean, I believe whatever. Like, I believe in God. And I'm like, yeah, I would consider myself Christian. And she's like, well, you know, there's like how they talk about God the Father. Have you ever considered God the Mother? And we looked at each other like, what are you talking about? Like, God the Mother. And so she's like, she's like, if you open your Bible app, or if you open the Bible right now, she's like, I'll show you. This is a King James Version Bible. It says, God, in the beginning, God created us in his image. And it's like, well, what are we? Who is us? We are both man and woman. So wouldn't that insinuate that God is both a man and a woman? And so I'm like, I guess, but then we also say like our Father who art in heaven. And so that kind of expanded my mind. And then they're like we're called the Church of God, and we basically look at, you know, different things that the Bible says, and we kind of interpret it a little bit more differently than Christians, but it's still the same Bible. So they were like, would you guys be interested in like Bible study just to, you know, learn more about that? So my friend, or Camden, was immediately like, absolutely. Fuck not. Like, no. And I was just like, I'm like, well, I kind of do. Like, I want to hear about what you think about it. Because in college is also a time where I was really struggling just with my faith. Like, I believe in God, you know, and like you said, we were always, I don't want to say forced to go to church, but we always went to church. It's just what we had to do. But it was never like something that I chose. Like, I didn't just get up like, I want to, it was just like, I have to go to church. So it was like, in a way, that was me trying to like find my faith again and really look into like, you know, what this is. So not even going to get into the story of that, because that just takes a spiral. I eventually stopped talking to them because it was very different and weird. It threw me off because I'm like, I didn't know. Like, they got me to the point where she's like, well, you know, when you get baptized as a baby, it's not really your choice. And so I'm like, you're right. Like, they're like, well, would you want to get baptized again and have it this time be a choice that you make? So I didn't really want to at the time, but like, they convinced me, and I'm like, you know what? This makes sense. Like, I'll get baptized. It'll be my choice, and like coming back into God. But it wasn't like your typical Methodist Baptist baptism. It was like, I had to get into this robe, so I was completely naked underneath and sit in this bathtub. And the guy that was like pouring the water on my head was talking in Korean. So he's like, sorry if you guys think this is racist or whatever. Anyways, but I didn't know. In my head, I'm like, this man could be summoning the devil, and I have no idea what he's saying. Like, so after that, I just remember praying like, God, you know what I was trying to do. So I'm sorry. I don't know what he said, but I just tried to think in my head, like, I'm coming to you, God, the real true God, that whoever like you are, like, that's who I'm doing this for. Like, I don't know about all this extra stuff. And like, the church was mostly like Korean. So it was just like, I did feel a little like off, like they worshiped a little different. Their hymns were different. Like, and it was like, God the Mother, God the Father. So I'm like, okay. Anyways, I said I wasn't going to get into that, but I did. So needless to say, I did, because like even my teammates were like laughing at me, like, Bree done joined the Church of Shackles. Like, and I'm like, it's the Church of Tabernacles. So like they were making fun of me. And so I'm just like, you know what? I blocked the girl's number. I ended up not even talking to them anymore, but it gave me good insight. And how did I get to that? Because what was I talking about before that? Just a different denomination. Yeah. So it's just like, you know, it makes you wonder. That was like just how we operate. Because I never really went to church. So I decided that I was just going to keep my faith in God, and like I said, read the Bible and just really, you know, pray every day, meditate every day. And in my head, you know, I tell myself that's enough. But I mean, other people would argue otherwise. Like, no, God said to fellowship. He said to come together with other people. But
Look at what we're doing.
yeah,
2 or
we
3.
are.
That's all you need though. You need 2 or 3.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
When
good.
2 or 3 touch and agree, he's in your presence.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So it doesn't really have to be like a church thing. And I
Yeah.
told Morgan, I'm like, I think my views on just church, especially our Methodist church, like I would have, if you're gonna sit me down and have me attend Bible studies and, you know, come to like, you know, learn the word of God,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want there to be any offense when I question things.
Right.
Like, why do we do this? Why are we doing this?
Right.
Did God tell us to do this, or did we make this
And that's
up?
why I love my pastor, because that's who he is. Like, he's like, why? Is it in the Bible? And like,
Yeah.
his name is Pastor Tyrone Nance Jr. I'm trying to find the scripture where it say, with 2 or more touch and agree for you. That's another thing he has told us to, like, don't just be saying stuff, because that's another thing that stirs people away. Like, when you don't know, I wouldn't say don't know what you're talking about, but when it just sounds like you just talking, like a lot of people just turn their ear to it, they don't listen to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Overcomers Ministries has changed my life for the best. When 2 or
You know, why you look at that?
that.
That's something. That's part of the reason why I do invite you back to just come at least attend the service, because the new pastor that we have, that's what he did when he got there. Like everything that Reverend Dennis, Mamie, and all of them put in place, he was just like, why do we say the Apostles' Creed? Why do we? And like people in the church, they couldn't answer. They're like, that's just what we've always done. And it's like, he's not like, you know, well, I don't believe it, let me take it out. But he would question it and be like, you know what, I don't really get it. I'll let y'all do it, but I hope you guys respect the fact that I'm not going to stand up and say that with you, because that's not something that's in my belief system. So it's like, and what he talks about, because even today, he mentioned, well, he was talking about like the story of Jesus feeding the 500 and then him walking on water out to the disciples on the boat. And he was basically like, we're all on the same boat. We just have to trust that he's going to make a way to come get us out of what we're doing. So the water might spill into the boat. It might look like we're about to drown, but trust that he's right there. And, you know, our Savior is coming and stuff like that. So, like, just helping, he helps us kind of form our own relationship with God and have a community of people that also have their own relationship with God. So then we can talk about our own relationships with God with each other, with the understanding that none of us are perfect. He's a sinner just like we are. He'll talk about his 20 minutes that he went to jail.
Oh my God, wow.
So it's Matthew 18:19-20. It say again, truly I tell you that 2 of you on earth agree about anything they ask for, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am with them.
Okay.
That's good. So church could be 2 or 3 people.
That was good.
I feel better. Me, Zena, and... and my baby. We gonna be church, okay? It's like, no. Now that you said that, though, that does make me
and it's like, I'm not
consider
asking
a little bit more.
I'm
But
not asking you to come back and join the choir. They will ask you. They will
come on, be an usher. We need more.
They will
I get
ask
it,
you.
because the youth is disappeared.
But he's even on that too. Like the people, you can't just come bombard them with the, hey, you want to join the choir? Like they just want.
The second we came back, that's what they were like. The one day that we came back, first they made us feel bad that we haven't been to church in so long, and then they were just like, you know, we need more people on the choir. You know, we need more. I'm just like,
I know.
I should find you guys somebody. I'll help y'all get some people.
That's hilarious. So Overcomers Ministries, our mission statement is overcoming life challenges through love, faith, and healing by the Holy Bible and the unfailing power of God.
Okay.
Pastor Tyrone Nance Jr., he's really big on being Bible based. So like whenever he do offer our church to anyone, he always say like, if this is not the church home that you're looking for, I pray that you find a home where a Bible based church home.
Yeah.
Basically saying a church that's going to follow the Bible and not traditions in so many ways. There I help minister to the youth. I use my poetry as well to minister to the people in there. I take my poetry, like I just told you about Exodus, I turn the story in the Bible into a poem where I can break it down to people. I also have my, same way how I have groups in camps for the kids on the work business side, I do the same thing in church with them. We might have like a spoken word night where I allow them to write down stuff or show them different ways to, because I like them to know that a lot of times when we physically hurt, we go to the hospital. But when you're spiritually broken and you're emotionally broken, where do you turn to? The Bible. That's your first aid kit. Like, when you open it up, you find different things to help you cope with answers that people don't have for you. And a lot of times, like when you go into people and you're talking to them about the stuff that you're going through, they literally can't help you. Like it's nowhere way in their mind that they can help you. They're not even just talking about financially. I'm just saying like some stuff people don't know how to talk you through. So sometimes, not even sometimes, all times, thank you God. The best thing to do is to turn to Him, because even if He don't answer to you in that moment, He's going to reveal something to you. Like my child go this way, my child say this, my child do this. So it's like with me going to Overcomers, when I first went there, I told you I had went there just simply just to go. And when I went there, and he literally just read my whole life, like as if I had told him what happened to me in 2019 and how I responded to it. Like he basically told, it was like I don't know what he said verbatim because it's been so long, but basically it was like, you're doing this, everybody around you are not understanding why you're moving like this, but you're going to be rewarded for it. So it's like, so I'm like, all right, now I just gotta sit here patiently and wait for like what the Most High gonna bless me with, for being obedient, for being forgiving, for being showing mercy and showing grace, because He's showing mercy and grace all over my life. So that's why I continue to go. And then one time I went and I had I read one of my poems, but nobody didn't know I write poetry. So when I read one of my poems, that was my first time sharing my poetry outside of my family to anybody. It was in church. Yeah. And my pastor, I got a thing, he always say like, when a child, not speaking about me, but like children, like young kids, like a child, a person, anybody, when they get up here and minister, whether it's dance, poetry, or talking, y'all understand it's the hardest thing to do in front of church folks. So like be encouraging. Like you see a child come up here to sing, clap while they walking up. Like if it was your child, you want something to clap. So like he's really big on like, giving your neighbors their props. And but after I read my poetry, that's when I had just dived into like writing poetry for the people. Because at first I just would write poetry because of how I felt. And 9 times out of 10 it wasn't like good feelings. It was like bad feelings I need to get off me so I can stop thinking about. Yeah. So then when I did that, and I had read that poem to them, and it was like every week he was challenging me to read a poem in Bible study. So like every week I had to write a new poem. So like I would just take his sermon, take a couple notes, write a poem, read it on Bible study. I was doing that for like a couple months straight. But then I wouldn't say it stopped, but like he started putting so much pressure on me. So like, and I felt like now that I see it, it's like it's a disservice to the world. Like I need to figure out how to get back out there and read my poetry, minister to the masses, because people be needing to hear it. And your mom says it all the time. Like she at the end me, she'll message me, she'll comment like, when are you putting these in a book? Yeah. When are you gonna start selling your book? I'm gonna keep saying something until you done it. I'm like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna shut up, I promise you. And it's so crazy because I got my envelope in the car now, my manila folder with all my poems in it, because like I'm in the process of doing it, because that's another thing. Like sometimes I have a hard time saying what I'm trying to do in my life, because I be, again, y'all, my belief, I be believing in a lot of stuff. So like I be like, let me keep my stuff to myself, because I put it out there, somebody might try to speak something bad over it, and it's not gonna work. Yeah. So like but like the Most High has placed it on me to, I couldn't really figure it out, but now I got it. I'm gonna have like a poetry like journal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so like they're gonna have my poems, but they're gonna be a part where they can reflect like what came to you, or what do you feel like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna say that, but I'm still trying in the midst of working it. But I know that I wanted to be a poetry and journal, self-reflective thing, if that makes sense. But helping building up Overcomers is literally just me. Dang, I can't believe I can't get the word out. But basically, outreach. There we go. It's outreach. Like I try to find different ways. Like I remember when January came and we had a kid had got killed. Like that I knew that February came, somebody else had got killed. And then March came, somebody else had killed. I'm like, listen, we need like some type of literature so that when I go to these funerals, I can give this to these people because it let them know like you can come to our church, like you can come and you know minister and fellowship with us if you want to. Like we're not pressuring you, but like here you go, you're invited.
Yeah.
So like we got these little you're invited cards, and somebody had just it's been like every month somebody has died for. But this month one of Pastor Kids that he mentored and counseled they say he killed himself, but
oh my gosh,
they don't believe it. They think that it was like a TikTok thing that went wrong because the young man, he was in such high spirits. He had just got his first job. He was a senior in school and stuff. Like he was like doing everything. But yeah, we had I say because we had to repast at the church, and my pastor had preached at the funeral. So like all these people they coming up to get food, and I have a very old spirit. But when they come to get food and getting candy, I'm looking like the real food is in the word. The real cool candy is in the word, you know. So like I went and got the cards. I went downstairs in the sanctuary, got all the cards. I came downstairs and started passing them out to everybody at the table. And I'm like, the pastor that was they were like, thank you. One of the ladies, I was like, you want some real candy? He goes some real candy right here, and I gave her the card. And she's like, thank you, because today the word was right. And I said, yeah, that was our pastor. This is his church. She's like, are you serious? And then she pulled the card out. She's like, oh my gosh, that is him. So she's been coming to church since I gave her that card. So like, I know my thing is when it comes to church is outreach and youth ministry. So I just try my best to do what I can. I'm not saying like I'm doing everything right, because you can always do stuff better. You can always get more consistent, be more stable with things. But I know what my purpose for when it comes to ministry. I don't know why now I want to read y'all a poem, but
please.
Oh, for real?
Yes, this is your platform, girl.
Right. This is called Exit This. Since he was talking
yes,
about
yes.
Right.
I actually wanted to ask you to do it earlier, but I was like, we kind of moved on from the subject.
And like that's another reason why most of my poetry that I put out is used to edify the Lord, because I truly believe in whatever gifts He gives you. Like if you're cooking, you need to be cooking up for a soup kitchen. You know, I'm not saying like don't make your money with it, but also make sure that you're using it to serve His people, because He gave it to you to serve His people. Whether it's cooking, whether it's coaching, whether it's writing poems, drawing, whatever the case may be, use it to edify the Most High, because just as easy as He gave it to you, He can take it away from you. So it's called Exit This. It say, when I think about the book of Exodus, I truly can only think of Exit This, especially when He's sending you the messages, and whether a flame or a mountain, you'll get the best of it. See, I don't think it's a coincidence that He speaks through nature, so you won't have to second guess whether it's real or faking. See, Moses heard the Most High, and it was an instant change in his behavior. To me, it's a very interesting story for the Savior. See, the Most High turned Moses' hand white as snow. He turned his hand white. So who do you think He's talking about when He say, tell the Israelites, repent and get your soul right? You got to give up living that so life. That's what I got from it. It's truly time to exit this in the book of Exodus. See, we were slaves, a cycle we're put into constantly. Moses freed us from bondage after he had been running from it. He was found in a river, but some may say the sea. Sometimes what come to your step is a different type of delivery. Something or someone to reverse what you thought was correct. It's feeling like a curse until the Most High get His people back. See, Moses ran from his calling, and it was trials and tribulations. The Most High instructed you to do something, He's like, I'll get to it later. See, Moses ran and he started his own family. But the thing about God's instructions is they don't go nowhere gladly. Doesn't that make you happy? See, the Most High placed the vision on the Most High. Placed the vision on you, it could be 20 years ago. And the moment you follow His directions, He's like, you know what? Here you go. Moses would go back, Pharaoh, he's stubborn. Everything Moses did, he like, ooh, I got something. Show me this and I'll let your people go. Between Pharaoh and Moses is a never-ending cycle. After a snake, blood, gnats, but before that it was the frogs, flies, and the death of livestock, boils and hail, a plague of locusts and darkness. It took the death of the firstborn for Pharaoh to say, you know what, you got it. Pharaoh didn't keep his word, no question. And of course, he still didn't learn his lesson. After letting the Israelites go, Pharaoh sent out his guards right after them. Moses came to a body of water. The Most High told Moses, in this water, place your staff. The Most High then split the water in half. Israelite walking through water higher than some walls. And once the last Israelite got through, the Most High let the water down, wiping out all the guards. You ever been in a situation and the only way was through? You feel there's no way out, and then a miracle happened, and then it make you want to scream and shout. Interesting part in this story is the Most High was livid. The Israelites was feeling golden, right? Moses had 3,000 people killed by the Levites. And then after that, the Most High struck the people with the plague, the Israelites. See, the Israelites, they was worshiping a golden calf. And I'm talking about an animal, not your leg. They say you want to hear a joke, tell God what you have planned and see who get the last laugh. It reminds me of us with birthdays and holidays, worshiping anything, not realizing we're getting played. I don't know who need to hear this, but it's time. It's time to exit this. I don't know what this is. It's a negative pair of relationships, music that doesn't edify the Lord, drugs or alcohol. Are you waking up on the couch, sometimes on the floor? Are you waking up not remembering a thing from yesterday? Adultery, fornicating, lust, not caring where you lay, or the things you eat, or the things you say. See, sin is sin, and one day you and the Most High will be face to face. Are you handling your trials and tribulations with grace? Is it violence or lying, disrespecting your parents, leaving your mama at home crying? And to be honest, we put ourselves in bondage simply because we can't follow simple instructions. Just know whatever the Most High telling you to do, He's demanding it. Exodus 40:16, Moses proceeded to do everything just as He commanded him. I don't know who need to hear this, but it's time to exit this. That's what the Most High placed on me after reading the book of Exit This.
I love that.
Thank you.
Honestly.
And earlier, I don't know if you remember, earlier you was asking me, like, do I get nervous when it was like time to read a poem? I think that's what you were about to ask me.
Yeah.
Yes. I did.
All the time.
I go out there, I be praying before I walk, when I'm walking, like, God, please slow me down. Let me deliver this message in the way that you want me to. You know, sit me down, stand you up. Please help me. Like, I be like, help me. Even sometimes when I get up there on the microphone, I start praying, like,
Yeah.
seriously. No, seriously, like, because I sometimes, because it go back to me not being, I write because I struggle with comprehension. And sometimes when I'm reading my stuff, I start saying stuff that's not even in my poem. Like,
You know, feel it comes from the heart. I love that. That's natural talent.
You know? So I just really, I enjoy writing poetry. I really enjoy sharing my poetry. Like, I want to go on like I was thinking, the Most High put it on my spirit, like, to go on my own like little tour run, you know?
Yeah.
When it comes to, like, you just look up on Eventbrite and see when different states and stuff got different, like, you know, open mics and just go. Like,
and I'm so sad I missed the ones you invited me to. I know they were like poet. I don't think it was like was it at your church? I think it was just like a poetry night, like an open mic that you had.
That's okay, because
I think Curtis, we were at Penn State or something. And I was like,
dang
it. But you have to let me know when you do another one of those. Because your stage presence is like powerful.
I know, and I was telling Big Man that too. I'm like, bro, they like it. You like, what you mean? I said, they like me behind the mic. Like, as soon as I put that video up, everybody just started like, so yeah, sis, you got to do it more. Because normally I had to go set my phone up somewhere. Hey guys!
Yep.
How you doing?
Set up the tripod.
Yes. You know? But Overcomers Ministries, they brought that out of me when it comes to, all praise to the Most High, when it comes to like sharing my poetry. Because I never really thought that I would be sharing my poetry to anybody, because it was really for me. Like, it's like, people always talk about I'm emotional. Let me write these things out so that I won't be upset. Like, that's what my thought process was when it came to writing poetry. So like, but then it turned into like, you need to write to speak to the masses, get them to understand this Bible, get them to understand what it means to repent and everything. So
yeah, because people are gonna hear you, and like you said, the resonation, when you feel it, to like release it, it's always, there's always gonna be a listener that was intended for.
Right.
Like, it's gonna resonate.
Because everything that you just talked about, it'll be the same way that the pastor seemed to know exactly what was going on in her life.
right.
It's going to be that one person that's just like, that spoke to me.
And I love that you talked about that book specifically, because I told you I'm in Leviticus, right? So I was just there, and I'm like, yo, like, I would have listened after, what was it, The Flies? I was like, you're still gonna, like, I'm like, how long does this go? Because I never knew the whole story of that. Like, you just hear, like, the here and there's, but I'm like, your whole son just died, and you're still like, oh my God, like, have you not seen?
Not just your son, the whole community.
Everybody's first son, right?
Yes.
I'm like, oh my goodness, this Pharaoh is not listening.
That also goes to like what we kind of touched on earlier, and maybe this is off camera, but like, you know, when you get so stuck in your ways and you get away from like God, and you're not really tapped in, you're not really in your Bible, you're not really, you know, connecting. Of course you're gonna look around like, what is going on? Everything was going so well. Now we losing all this stuff, we're losing all these people, and it's like, it's you know, sometimes it takes like that 5th, 14th time to be like, oh, this is the stone that I didn't turn over yet. This was that, this and other things.
And it goes, and like when I was reading it too, I was thinking like, you know how people try to mock God, like I can do that too, when it's just sorcery. Like, I'm like, yo.
Yeah, like when they threw the staff, he's like, oh, my sorcerers can do that too. I'm like,
and like,
I'm like, dang, why can't they do all this? Like,
and I just be thinking about that, like in like today's time, like people don't realize, like I said in there, like we being played, like right in our faces. You know, like you said, a lot of stuff that we're doing, like we're not even supposed to be doing it. The only reason why we're doing it is because it's just been passed down. And but the moment somebody challenge it, like you said, question it, you seem down as insubordinate or like you've been disobedient or whatever. No, I just have a mind and I'm like this 1 + 1 = 2. You're giving me 5 right now. So like I just try to figure out how you get to 5. That's all. That's
right,
all,
exactly.
You know? So
you can give me a logical explanation and consider.
And speaking to you, Bree, like I wouldn't feel bad the space you are in as far as your faith, as long as you have faith. Yeah. Because at this time, like it's very important to build your own relationship with the Most High because people will try to, you know, I wouldn't say make you believe what they believe, but like make you believe what they believe. Yeah. And if your sister is saying that it's different now, I would, you know, just go see what it's like. But I'm not, even though you ain't even got to go in there, I'm pretty sure they got one line now. Cause like everybody got one line.
They do have, you're right.
So the choir still sounds a little.
Yeah. I remember
yo, camera.
Listen. John Wesley,
almost forgot we were on camera.
I love y'all, I do. But
we're gonna have to get them together.
We definitely need some fresh voices on the choir.
Don't say that. Some of those women have been singing their
But honestly, y'all, I think it's an attack.
What'd you say, Hollie?
I think it's an attack because like we're gonna do the same thing at our church. Like our choir, like the music ministry part is like
spiritual warfare.
Yeah, it's just like hanging on by a thread.
And
like,
you know what's crazy? I don't know if it was a conversation that I had or a podcast that I was watching, but it was basically like the influence of sound. And that's why like listening to, I don't want to just say like Christian music, but like empowering music and music that edifies God, like the music ministry, that's their job to create that sound and that vibration and that energy in the church that gets people like, you feel it, whether it be the speakers, the singers, like all of that, you feel that sound resonance of God. And like with the people getting older and their voices aren't as like powerful and you know like you need that sound. And they say the devil will always give you stuff that makes you feel good too, that tastes good, that sounds good. So we can go to the music that makes you bump your head but it's talking about the stuff that we don't need to talk about. Meanwhile in the church, these music ministries, they don't have people who are willing to come and give a rap for God. They don't have people who are coming and use their voice and sing a Queen Naja song like they would in their, sing a Christian song like they would a Queen Naja song in their car. Like, not to say, you know, she's worshiping the devil, but I'm context.
Yeah, I feel you. Did y'all see that movie with Chloe Bailey, Praise This?
I heard about it. Was it good?
I watched it. It had its corny moments, but it was funny. The message overall was good. It was just some parts in there like that were a little, I felt like, you know, over sexualizing. So it's like if we're talking about
praise
God,
this.
Yeah. But I get it. Like they kind of wanted to portray a story of like her having this talent that she didn't realize she had. And it was just like, she didn't even believe in God at first, really. Like her faith was shot, but she had that talent that she could do that. So like, she was kind of forced to join all this stuff. I don't want to spoil it. Y'all should watch it. It's really good. In the end, you're like, okay, I see.
Yeah.
That was with you?
And mommy.
Yes! That was Oh, you did? What? I thought you just said no.
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Well, you gotta watch it. Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
So,
but
that's what I think. I think we should make like, that's like the secular mainstream music. And I'd be sounding like a mom. You should see me in them comments, like, because people are so ignorant.
Me too. I be so upset.
Yes. And it's like, what are we glorifying? Like
Never mind, I'm not gonna say it on camera.
No, I say it.
Like, what's her name? Big Sexy? What's her name?
Big Sexy Red.
Why is she on my TV? Why
Every
is she
day.
on my camera?
You
like,
saw
what?
them at Popeyes today?
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry, it was actually
what?
funny. Cause they made a video that they was about to like take over the world and go worldwide. She was like, we performing at the BET Awards, the Grammys, and then Sexy Red was like Popeyes, and then Suki was like Planned Parenthood. So like the next slide was like, I'm about to let me know when they perform at Walmart or something like that. But look, they actually made a video in front of Popeyes with the mic.
Mm-hmm.
You know how they be having the mic in the middle?
Oh
They was really singing.
But
why do they promote that is a real
know.
question. Like,
That's what I be trying to tell people. Y'all better save your kids, like for real.
They are trying to.
they're trying so
they get
hard.
your kids.
Yes. And it's like,
Save y'all kids.
please. And it's like, my thing is, if we all just collectively stop paying attention to it wouldn't be powerful. Like, we give so much power. What are you looking at me like that for? Oh yeah, I don't know if you've been hip to like gospel rap, gospel R&B, but like I've been following a lot of artists and they're really good.
Can you
like,
share it to me? Like send me
Yes.
pictures. You don't got that right now, but whenever
They
you get
got
a
a lot
chance.
of playlists.
So yeah, that's what I listen to now. That, and you know, I still have my Summer Walker and all that. But you know, back to the ministry thing. You know, even though we aren't a part of your church, how can, you know, people like us sow into your ministry and, you know, help make a difference with it? Come to church.
Not only just come to church, but like, you know, send someone. If you like, I'm not saying like you gotta be from your church, but if you know that someone, like, we are located in you know what city at? College? Not city college. High school.
The high school?
Whatever it's called.
I don't, but I
It is called City College.
Oh,
It's just a
yeah.
high
So it's
school.
right there. I'm like, whenever
Is it in Baltimore?
like whenever we have any outreach, like events or anything, I'll send you guys the flyers, post them. That'd be good. You know, share,
Pray for them
pray.
and their success.
Yes, of course.
And
like share our like if you see me posting anything far as them on Instagram and stuff, that's another thing. Like I'm really big on like, I don't know, we just got, because I was doing a poetry thing at a church the other day, and the lady said like we're outnumbered when it comes to this spiritual warfare. You know, we don't have enough people on the internet trying to get these kids. We don't have enough people on the field like walking around trying to get the people. You know, so it's like, however way we can help reel them in. I just want to do that because it's really the kids. Like, you guys see me having events with the kids, just, you know, somebody with some kids, send them my way.
Definitely.
Because these kids, man, I'm just so sad for them.
They are the future. That's the part.
They are the future and they working towards no future. So, yeah, and that was the one that hit me in the gut right there. I hope I answered it because I really don't.
You did.
You know, so, yeah.
Well, we want to support what you're doing, and we want everybody else who, you know, believes in the faith, even if you don't have to come. Like, you could be watching this across the country. We're not asking you to fly out to Maryland and go to a service, but like, you know, pray over what they're doing. Pray over who's there right now. Like she continued to mention, it's spiritual warfare, and so as much as we can do to just pray over each other and you know, raise our spiritual vibration so that we can get over whatever the enemy is trying to do. We can do that.
Yep. Period. We just work together with the outreach. Because we need to reach these souls.
Save the kids.
Yes.
Save the kids. They are the future. One day we won't be here, and we need to trust the hands that we're leading.
Just think about it. Them kids that's running rampant, they're going to be the ones probably trying to teach your daughter.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
So this is what I'm thinking about. Like, I'm so like, even with Noah, when I look at Noah, I'm like, oh, like, these kids.
Yeah.
How are you going to learn from them?
And it started kind of like with I don't want to say our generation, but like they're the parents now, and their parents were the ones that kind of set that. It's like everybody didn't have like, think about pre-social media, like when rap and like, you know, people were, I don't want to just single out rap, I'm sorry, but like just club in general and that environment that like, we were outside, we weren't on the internet. So it's like, it was still happening, but there wasn't enough awareness. Now everybody has access to that. Like,
that's the problem.
So it was already bad. Now it's just like,
use your parental controls.
yes.
They have those settings for a reason.
Yep.
They should be listening to Baby Shark, not
Embrace his corner. So all my ministers out here in this world, outreach. You know, do use your gifts to touch these souls and reel them in. Reel them in.
On the topic of your advice, we are reaching our 60-60 segment. And this is basically where you have 60 seconds to share with our audience anything that you feel that, you know, they can take with them, any form of advice or just suggestions, anything that's on your mind, just anything from what we talked about today or...
Okay, this is about the circle of life. And when I say this, it's about taking care of those in your life that are elderly. A lot of people, we work out and we eat for ourselves, and a lot of people don't take care of their bodies, don't understand that as you get older and it comes to the point of helping your grandmother or your great-grandmother, you're going to need your body. So your body is a temple. Do the things you need to do for others, eating the right things, hearing the right things. Be careful what you're looking at. Cut off them tabs and TVs. If you're going to look at and listen to something, this is something positive, something that's informative, something that's going to, you know, make you, something that you can apply to your life, actually. It's not something that's going to be a waste of time. So the circle of life is very important. Just think about it. You're not going to always be healthy, so somebody's going to have to take care of you. So while you got it, take care of somebody else. That's all I have for that 60 seconds.
Thank you so much. Your hair looks beautiful.
It feels beautiful. Let me see.
It is. And we just really appreciate you coming on here. Once again, I feel like this is another successful conversation, another productive.
Yes.
Yep. I love doing these things. It just always...
Yeah, I like this for y'all. This is good.
Thank you.